Time's up, Admiral.
Here it comes.
Fade in.
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go f yourself. But go f yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience.
What's the matter? Take yourself a great big bite of meat. Taste the pleasure of the highest quality pork around.
Give me the meat and give it to me raw.
No! She's not supposed to be talking about...
I have no idea what's going on, Dre, but
it's
fun.
Talk about that!
He's having a breakdown. Somebody call Johnny Cochran.
You gotta watch it. You gotta hit the like button.
We've got to get it up for him, guys. Come on. Everyone who's watching
Don't
this
say
video
it
needs
like
to
that.
go over
Don't
there,
say it like that.
And share the video. We gotta keep going.
Don't they have to get it up for me? Don't say it like that. God damn it.
Who writes someone that's a genius and that everybody is over there sucking her toes, and then you got to come over here and then say something ridiculous like, hey, victimize me, daddy.
You know what? There is a single reason why I wouldn't want to become a merman. I wouldn't have my penis anymore.
Oh, these two girls when you kiss, they're gonna be hot. Oh, yo, you know Elizabeth Hurley's gonna get butt naked in this.
Like, I wanna dive into her deep pool and swim around in her labia.
I'm still jerking off in front of my console.
You know how much I love Snorlax? I'm gonna prove it to you. These are my slippers. All right, Snorlax, Snorlax slippers. I don't give a crap who knows. I'm a grown man and I'm rocking Snorlax slippers. I don't give a crap.
Well, we're talking about people who have serious sexual orientation and gender identity problems. And I'm not talking, and when I say sexual orientation, I don't mean, you know, a dude who likes a dude and a chick who likes a chick. We're talking about people who think that they're non-binary and they don't know how to play with their holes and shit like that.
Oh,
so, Jesus Christ. When I was swarmed by bugs, Dom H, the hero that he is, waded into that maelstrom of claws and jaws and gook and pulled my dead ass out and got me to safety on the ship. Dom H is a patriot and a hero.
Yeah, that was really gay.
Hey, man, you don't know what it's like being in the shit with the bugs everywhere, man. It's terror. It's a nightmare. It's horrible.
Bugs make you gay? Kind of explaining why Bill Gates is pushing so hard for us to eat bugs.
This is why I do crystal meth.
Ooh, so exciting.
Two things. No, one thing is guaranteed to happen, Adam. I'm going to get naked. Either way, either from celebration or depression, I'm getting naked in some way, shape, or form. It's happening. Period. Not up for debate. It's happening.
Let me do it myself here. Let me get it up real quick. Hey, shut up. Shut up. I didn't mean it like that, you perverts.
I'm colored. Shut up.
Yeah, you know what? This freaking existed. It exists. That exists.
You just imagined it.
I guess. Kind of hurts. I think it's physical. It has shown us one thing. The fake fans, the stands, they show up. They showed up for all of these. But they're not an audience.
Nope.
They're a bunch of weirdos hanging out in a parking lot, watching each other do weird shit.
Oh God!
I don't know where I come up with these. They just happen.
Are you out there watching them watch them?
I can hear them from where I am. That's the
a lot of squelching.
Yeah. Listen, at least I don't have to clean it up. That's good.
Stop touching my penis. Stop doing that. I did not consent to this type of touching. Stop it. It's wrong.
But we're told that we don't like any of this because we're misogynists. We just don't like this stuff because we're women And the only reason we're unhappy about the Ray movie coming out, because, guys, did you hear the Ray movie was canceled and uncanceled? Did you hear that?
Dre, you heard that too, right?
I did hear it.
Wait,
I
did
did hear it.
What did I do?
You said because we're women.
We hate it because we're women.
Okay. I said it. All right. Yeah, see, now Ariel just arrived, and she's going to make sure that I remember that.
Yes, we didn't want it to come out like this, but Adam is in fact trans. He's coming out of the closet. Him and Dermy are in a relationship. It's time.
It's still there.
I didn't say that.
Well, you can still have it, but still identify as a woman.
Oh, you will taste and see that I am delicioso. The Legend of Korra took a diarrhea in my mouth and then told me to chew it, swallow it, vomit it, and then eat it again.
And these tool bags wouldn't know quality if it walked up and motorboated them. Because, you're going to motorboat quality.
Wait, what?
Quality boobs. You want to motorboat quality boobs.
There we go. All better now. Man, titties are the greatest things on earth.
Uh-oh. It's just the ginger and the Jew for now.
We can keep talking about titties. That's okay.
Oh, hey, I will always talk about titties. It's hey, listen, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Everything men do in life is for that slim chance to touch boobs again. Everything we do is for just a chance will we get to touch boobs.
Yeah. Everything.
It's a simple process. And
but what about Dermy? That doesn't explain his behavior.
Ladyboys have boobs. Hey, listen, R.I.P. Dermy, R.I.P. Dermy's ass. For after the pub busters on Friday, he ate a lot of spicy things that left him incapacitated for 24 hours. People who know, there was no Chatterday last night because Dermy was basically ruling from the throne. So that's where it is. Hail and howdy, everybody. Welcome to the round table where we're unique, we're different. We try to make it entertaining for you. We hope you have a good time while you're here, and we will strive to at least have some relevant conversations. Yeah, listen, we have relevant conversations. They get a little off track sometimes, but we get there. We have fun. Hi, Jed.
Hi.
That was a good transition, wasn't
it? That's the transition? Okay. Well, I just want to take this opportunity as this platform to preach my political stance right now. All right? I'm going to take this moment to tell you all how you should think and feel. The most villainous, iniquitous, and vile institution in the world is daylight savings, and I will not stand for its continuance.
Okay. I want to let Dre say hi because I was going to go there. Right away. Hi, Dre. Are you late? Are you late because of daylight savings?
Daylight savings ruins everything. Period. Full stop. Full stop right there. But yeah, I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
We've had a solid week this week. I know we have a lot to discuss.
There's gonna be energy today. I guarantee there's gonna be energy today.
Oh,
I'm angry about something. Jed's angry about something. I don't know if Dre's angry or happy about something yet. So
indifferent.
That's worse.
That's worse.
Indifferent is the word for it. We'll talk about it. Okay. We'll talk about it. But this has been a good day. Today is the day of my birth.
So it's everybody's birthday.
Yeah.
It literally is everybody's birthday.
So you're legally allowed to drink now?
I know, right?
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah. Well, so this evening I'm doing pretty much a restaurant crawl of seeing all the free stuff I can get.
All right.
Out of these restaurants.
So. All right. Hey, grift away.
Grift
away. All right. So before we start yelling and screaming, hail and howdy to the chat. Thank you all for joining us on this. What is always a busy Sunday afternoon. We hope you're having a good day. Hail to Algram and Legatus, my mods. I know one likes me and the other one tolerates me. I accept that in my life. Hail Frank, Blaskowitz, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Hail, Huzzah, son of Joxer. Hail, Ruben X. Hail, Hyperbolic Ninja, how are you? And anybody else who's not chatting, just sitting there, relaxing, joining us, happy to have you here. Hit the like button. Links are in the description below. And we got a show for you, but first, I was going to go there, all right? Listen. Whether it's spring forward or fall back, F it all. F it all. All right?
Agreed.
Leave it. But here's the thing. Now here's the divide. And I don't know where these two gentlemen stand on this, but I'm going to say it. Leave it as it is right now because it gets lighter, stays lighter longer.
I don't care either way. Just pick one.
Okay, you're indifferent. Fine. Great.
So
Great.
I'm with you on that, Adam.
Yeah.
I want my longer days.
Yeah.
I want more sun. I don't like the sun being gone at 5 p.m.
Yes. And even when it goes to winter, it would still be light around 6:30 if they didn't move it.
Yep, exactly. And that still is better than 5 o'clock in no sun.
I don't like if I have to leave the house for some reason during the winter months at 5:30, I don't like suddenly my mind telling me feeling like it's 9:30 or 10:30.
Exactly.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
I like it to be brighter. It's fine. And this whole thing, oh no, we don't want to take the kids to school in the dark. Shut up! Shut up! Just go away.
Is that a legitimate argument people are
That
using?
That's what they say.
What?
That is what they say. 100%.
Yes.
100%.
Who gives a shit?
Thank you. Thank you. And
it's not like the kids care. They got to wake up at the same time anyway.
And anybody who says it's for the farmers, you're full of shit. The farmers don't give a fuck. They don't. This whole lighter early thing, forget it. And the whole, I just lost an hour. Cry more. You haven't really lost anything. Shut up. You get it back when it switches. All right? No, keep it as it is now so that we have more light longer in the day. That's that simple. It's that simple.
It's difficult for me because for most of my adult life and a lot of my teenage years, I lived in Arizona where there's no such thing as daylight saving. So this is only my second year back in daylight saving since I was 15 years old. I'm not used to it.
See, Dre has lived in the present like I have his entire life here on the East Coast, where this is where life begins and where we're affected by it the most because the day starts with us and it ends with us. So Dre can understand living on the East Coast that this is how it's supposed to be. Just leave it lighter longer.
Yeah.
And it is because we live in the present.
It's just better. Unequivocally, uncomparably better. If I'm hanging out with like outside, if I'm grilling or something, I would like to have the sun out all day while I'm sitting there hanging, drinking my beer. Now that I can legally drink a beer now.
and for people who I know who I don't perhaps maybe want driving in the dark, I'd like them to give them a chance to get home while it's still light. You know? It's just better. Yeah. It's just better. There, we've decided, leave it as it is now. And you know, it's probably going to happen as it is right now. There's a good chance it'll happen. That that trouble just like lock it in and is it right now. Okay, so great. I would love it. I would love it because only reason I stayed up to 3 a.m. last night was because there's still 2 clocks in the house I have to change. Every other electronic device from computer to phone to PS5 to everybody else's phone, it changes on its own. But I still got to go in there and I got to change the microwave and I got to change stoves, which reminds me, I did it haphazardly last night. I have to go there and accurately do it at some point today. That so there's like that 1 or 2 second difference between the two. Because that drives me crazy if one says something 01 and the other one is still sitting there at 00 for like 30 seconds. Drives me nuts. Well, when I'm cooking, I need to glance at the clock and if I want to time something and I want it to match when I come back in here and I'm looking at the clocks on the computer. So I leave me alone. I'm OCD. Anyway. All right. So
I feel you.
Yeah. All right. So we have got what I think is going to be a very lively show today. We're going to talk box office, which will give Jed chance to be angry. We're going to talk, and also we now get to, because it's happened earlier than my original timeline. I'm getting another L likely on my movie predictions for the year. I could take it. I'm a big boy. Then we've got Dre's thoughts on Daredevil. I've heard a lot of mixed discussions between my regular network of people I do stuff with to the bigger channels and bigger voices and other people who we watch and hear what they would say. I've heard a lot of things. So I'm very interested to see where Dre falls on this. Then you guys are going to get a rant from me. Something I discovered last night. I'll surprise you. Well, if you looked on X, you know what it's going to be. But I'll surprise those who haven't seen it. I'll let you wonder. Well, I'm going to yell. It's going to be ugly. And then it was, let's be honest, aside from the Daredevil premiere, it was a slow week. If you weren't into, as always, politics, it was a slow week, and there was not talking about it. You just look at me. I didn't really put much out this week. Nothing to do until the last minute. Black Snape is going to be real. Black Snape is happening. And just a week ago, I was saying, good job casting John Lithgow. Now it's I look stupid for Gavin Hope. So we're going to talk Harry Potter reboot and how it is likely eventually going to fail. Because this is going to be a nuanced discussion, okay? Mm-hmm. We're not going to say, oh, it's a flop, but it is, in a sense, doomed. Because there's going to be a lot of actual fan negativity aimed towards it now as soon as he signs on the line, because as the videos and the reports, we talked about it since Friday, final negotiations. It's not official, but it's if they're reporting on it like that, it's probably happening. Anyway, so without further ado, let's dive right in. No warm-ups. Let's dive in feet first, even though some don't like it like that. All right, so box office roundup. One last look. Maybe not last because it's still in the theaters. Brave New flop. Oof.
That's terrible.
Man.
Oh, goodness gracious me.
Man, I'm looking smarter and smarter every day.
You really are. This really makes up for your other prediction that we're going to talk about in a minute.
Yeah.
Because that other one's not a big deal. This was a big deal, and you got it pretty much right. Yeah. I've actually looked at the day-to-day numbers, and this last Thursday, it fell beneath $1 million domestically in a day.
There it is right there. Look at that. Wow.
$242 per theater.
Failure.
It lost another bunch of theaters over the weekend.
Let me see. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. 400 down, almost 400. Mm-hmm. So this is what failure looks like. And once again, I'm going to say this will lead to apathy going into Thunderbolts and later baby steps. No one's into this. So we just have to look at it. We're not going to. There's nothing to talk about. Just marking for the history books. 3 weeks in, 370 million gross worldwide. Likely not to hit 400 million.
At this rate, no.
Yeah. That was my adjusted. I said maybe it might not even hit it this time, and I'm looking good. I will just say this. I think this is a bigger disaster than the Marvels. Even though the Marvels was likely, and let me hang on a second. Let me bring up the Marvels real quick. I just want to see. I don't know what the Marvels gross was anymore.
37 cents.
Nah. Here we go. Marvels. Let's bring it back up. Okay, Marvel's only $199. So financially, the Marvels was a bigger flop, but
a lot more people expected the Marvels to fail, though.
Yeah. Nobody, they didn't even, people, only the still active Bree bots at the time were trying to convince everybody, oh, it's great. And they tried that little weird campaign on social media. People are hating it. It's really great. It's having a comeback. They tried this shit. But this is a bigger financial disaster with the 270 million budget, which is probably closer to what the real budget was. But this is still more of a disaster. Mm-hmm. Because we know that budget isn't real with 180. And they tried their hardest to convince us this was a big deal movie. They didn't try with the Marvels. We can admit that, right?
Oh, yeah, they gave up on that. The marketing was abysmal for the Marvels. But Reasonably, there were things going for this Captain America movie. Anthony Mackie was an established star in the MCU and likable. People like him as the Falcon. Brie Larson never really had that. There's Harrison Ford. That's real star power. Who's in the Marvels? I mean, yeah, Brie Larson's Oscar winning, but does anyone remember what movie that was in 2015? No one saw that movie. And Giancarlo Esposito, he's still semi-popular these days. He's in everything. And you kind of expect him to at least try. So there were things going for this movie that would lead a normie to believe, yeah, this movie will be more successful. But the Marvels had virtually nothing going for it. So everyone expected it to be the failure that it was.
Yeah. So this is just even though financially not as bad, or who knows, because the real budget, let's be honest, the real budget is close to $400 million.
Absolutely.
More. And the Marvels was likely around 350. So I still say this is worse. Nothing's going to convince that this isn't worse, because
this looks worse for Marvel, but Marvel lost more money on the Marvels.
Yeah, but everybody, but people I think people are going to remember this more.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so because also this was DEI the movie. The Marvels was just the Marvels. This was DEI the movie, and it's just it couldn't happen at a better time. It couldn't happen at a better time. So there we go. So we're just putting this in the books. When it's all said and done, when we hear the digital release, we'll look one more last time to try and get what'll be like the official final
numbers.
Stamp. Yeah. So I expect we're going to hear a digital release in the next week or two.
Probably.
They're not going to, if they're dropping theaters already, they're not going to leave this in there much longer. It's not. All right. So now, here's the other one. Now, I just looked at my list. This has actually come out a month earlier than I originally said it was going to come out when I made my predictions. Mickey 17. Everybody's talking about Mickey 17. Now, I went out on a limb on my predicting movies for the year, how they're going to do. And I said, looking just at the synopsis, not knowing who's in it aside from Robert Pattinson, all I saw was mid-level science fiction movie that may do well, might just be an interesting idea with clones, shit like that. I thought it would a little bit of comedy. I thought it would be mid-level and do fine. Wow, looks like I was wrong. L for Adam. That's another strike on me. Because let me just bring up the picture real quick. Let me just bring this up real quick. Because come on, go. Oh wait, doesn't do it like that. Hang on. Live show, everybody. I'm good at what I do. The looking at my predictions so far of what I predicted using this graph here. Wolfman was a failure. That one bombed. I think Love Hurts kind of just happened. So
I don't think it made any money.
Yeah. So, and I said it may or may not. We'll have to go back, but I didn't predict big things. So I've got two wrongs. Big win for me on Captain America: Civil War, Brave New World. Big win. Now, Mickey 17. They said April 18th on this, so it's out a month earlier than I originally believed. So I think I'm going to be right on a few other things here. But now Mickey 17. Jed, you saw it last night.
I did. And just looking at the box office there real quick, the budget reported by the numbers was $118 million, and it made $50 million its opening weekend worldwide.
Yeah.
So regardless of the quality of the film, it is not going to make money at this point. I'd say a fair number would be 300, just to be round, 300 million to break even. Probably a little bit higher than that, because the marketing was pretty big on this movie.
There's a lot of marketing on this.
There was a lot of marketing, but yeah, there's no way. I don't think it's going to hit 150 at this point. I think that would be extreme for it to get that far. Maybe just barely above 100 at this point.
I'm going to say barely above 100.
Yeah, that's pretty reasonable. But this film, I was excited for it. I didn't think it would be anything stellar, but I was looking forward to it because it was an original sci-fi film, and I love sci-fi. It's my favorite genre. So I'm like, all right, this might just be a fun, maybe turn your brain off type movie, but with an interesting concept, which it does have, and just some originality. It did feel quite different from a lot of the other sci-fi movies we've gotten recently. I learned my lesson to never even be cautiously optimistic anymore. I despise this movie with a passion. I would rather go watch Captain America Brave New World 10 more times in a row than watch Mickey 17 again. I'd rather go watch the Little Mermaid live action movie again.
Whoa.
This movie was awful. It is one of the most politically driven pieces of shit I've seen in recent decades. Like, it is more woke than anything Marvel's ever put out. It is I would rather watch The Last Jedi on repeat. There's better action in The Last Jedi than this. There's better humor. This movie is, I cannot understate how horrible this movie was. Mark Ruffalo is the main antagonist of the film, and I haven't seen a more obvious Trump impersonation outside of The Apprentice. That's how obvious. Like, he did the Trump dance. He talked like him. He did the hands. And this is Trump, what they think Trump is in Hollywood. So he had a symbol that looked very much like a, swastika. And he was talking about the church weaponizing Christianity to control people. The main difference is they thought that he would lose the second election because in the story,
they made this 2 years ago, didn't they?
Right. So Mark Ruffalo is a failed politician, and that really burns his soul. So he's trying to enact revenge by moving to another planet and ruling it and proving that he's actually the best ruler to ever rule. And so, yeah, they got that wrong. They did somehow include him getting shot in the face, and it's just barely scratching him, and him blowing it up into the big climb, like, I'm totally justified to get everyone murdered.
There's no shame. No shame at all.
There were Yahtzee salutes. Like, he did a Yahtzee salute. Everyone in the audience was doing him. Like, it was blatant. It was awful. And the romantic interest of Robert Pattinson's character, she was utterly awful. For some reason, she was a girl boss. They spent like 2 minutes of her intro just with voiceover saying she's like a badass. Like, she's like a firefighter and a policeman and a soldier and an angel and a god all wrapped up into one. It was awful. And
what's going on in this movie, though? What's going on in this movie?
So Mickey 17, Mickey, the original Mickey, and his Asian best friend, who's apparently race swapped from the books, they got into a scheme where they thought macaroons were going to sell better than cheeseburgers, so they took out a loan with the loan shark to make a macaroon shop. Obviously, it went under immediately, and the loan shark was going to kill them for it, so they sign up for a colony ship to get away from Earth, and they have no skills. Mickey 17 is autistic as shit. He is a drooling retard. And so he has no skill. So the only thing they'll take him for is what's called an expendable, which is basically you sign away your right to life and they scan your whole body, upload your memories, which doesn't make sense. They're very inconsistent with how memories work. He specifically says, during the trip, every so often, I will have to go back into the machine and update my memories, right? That makes sense. But somehow he remembers the deaths of all his previous incarnations without the headset being attached to him when he dies.
What?
But when the multiples happens, when there's multiple clones at once, he doesn't 18 doesn't remember that 17 didn't die. So they're entirely inconsistent with that. But yeah, as an expendable, you're printed out, you do all the dangerous stuff, and then you just print it out again. And you actually go into the ship's recycler, which is their human waste, and that human waste is reprinted into a body. So he's literally a shit person. Like, he's made out of human feces, the clones. And it's really bad. And the stuff that they do to him is just pointless. Apparently in 2054, it's only 30 years in the future, which is just dumb from a science fiction perspective. But they don't know what radiation does. So his first life, they put him in a spacesuit, strap him to the outside of the ship, and it's like, yeah, let's see how long it takes you to die, because we don't know what radiation does to people. We know what radiation does to people today. We don't need 30 years to, strap an expendable. So all his lives are pointless, with a few exceptions. They experiment nerve gas on him so they can develop a nerve gas. So that one they at least have, and they use him to go out into an alien environment, get infected with every airborne pathogen he can get his hands on, and then experimenting on him repeatedly to develop a vaccine. That's the type of stuff that they're doing with him.
Question.
Yes.
So, original Mickey. Is he still there? And spoilers, sorry, people, spoilers, whatever. Nobody cares. So, what happened to original Mickey?
He died. He He was already an expendable, so his life was worthless. Even though they talk about how, yeah, clones, they're not real people, they don't matter, but then they just willingly kill the original like they're one of the clones. And they take it from a religious perspective, right? Because Mark Ruffalo, he's using Christianity as a weapon, and it's blatantly anti-Christian. They do an argument where multiples are bad because there's only one soul in one body, and so God doesn't want us to split souls. So if multiples happen, that means we're splitting souls and playing God, so we need to murder everyone and never print this person again if multiples accidentally happen. It's awful. It's terrible. And what I was going to say, the black girlfriend, she gets the heroic speech at the end of the movie to say, hey, bad guy, you're bad. And like the moral high ground speech, right? That's a classic trope. Her moral high ground speech to the villain is, you're a fucking fuck. It just says 30 F words in the span of 30 seconds and just says asshole. And that's the big you're evil speech.
I take it they gruesomely killed Mark Ruffalo. Some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. It was an explosion, so I mean, we didn't see a whole lot of it, but yeah, it was pretty pathetic. One of my favorite awful scenes is, so they go to this planet called Niflheim, is what they call it, and there's these weird roly-poly tardigrade type aliens there that they just look like bugs. Like they don't look intelligent. Turns out they are. And just as an aside, Mickey 17 interacts with them, hears their warbling language, and he mimics that warbling language for a scientist aboard the ship. And she's able to develop a translation device because he imitated hearing them warbling. And that's how the movie's
But you don't know
resolved.
what the warbling means. You can't create you can't create.
Oh, he didn't even warble correctly. He's just like, it sounds something like, oh, I know what it is. I can translate it now.
Man.
But so Mark Ruffalo, he gets a rock from outside, he breaks it in half, and they're gonna chisel all their names into the rock as like, this is the Plymouth Rock of our colony. And two of these baby creatures pop out of it. One of them gets killed in the gunfight, and that's right after Mark Ruffalo gets shot in the face, and it's like nothing, and he's like, I'm gonna kill everyone now. But the other baby, he stabs it with the big hook and starts descending it down a rope into the same waste system that Mickey's bodies get thrown into. And because the black lady does his "you're fuck" speech, he grabs the rope, holds it up to her, and says, bite. If you want to save it, bite. And so she leaps forward, bites on the rope, and spends like the next 30 minutes just sitting there biting onto the rope, which they say that she has to bite because she's in handcuffs. I've been in handcuffs for a film once, and I know how handcuffs work. I'm sure Dre knows as well. I mean, I'm sorry. But
he's not wrong, though.
32 minutes. Damn.
But you have, this type of motion. You can reach up and grab a rope like this and then bring it down. But their excuse is she's got handcuffs on, so she can't grab a rope.
Yeah, she's got jaw strength. I mean, she's practiced a lot.
Oh yeah, there's when she finds out that there's two multiples of Mickey, instead of freaking out because she's a law enforcement officer and she knows that Mickey will be utterly annihilated and never printed again if they find out that there's two of them, she just goes, I want you to spit roast me.
I was gonna say they were gonna go Eiffel Tower on her. Mm-hmm. Oh man, they have no shame.
She was high, so there is that excuse at the time. They apparently the drug of choice is flamethrower fuel. Okay, and yeah, she just immediately jumps into a threesome and then tries to murder a girl who walks in on them.
Well, this movie,
it's terrible.
I've heard some people be positive about it. And I don't understand listening to this how.
Robert Pattinson does try. Like, I think he's given shit, but him and the CGI are the things that I would give points to. All that, the technical stuff, all looks good. He tries. He gives different performances because each clone is slightly different, and you can tell based on the performance what's slightly different. And the beginning of the movie, the Mickey stuff is fine. Like, if we got rid of the black character, or the black girlfriend, if you got rid of Mark Ruffalo and his... I didn't mention Mark Ruffalo's wife. Mark Ruffalo's wife is the real brains behind the operation, always whispering in his ear, and she's obsessed with sauce. Yeah, as in meat sauce to put food in. And so she decides, instead of killing the multiples at the end of the movie, she's like, I want the tails of these aliens to make the best sauce ever. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna strap bombs to the two Mickeys. They're gonna run out with machetes, and the first person to bring me 100 alien tails gets to live. And she has one alien tail from one of the babies that she cut off that she just puts in a blender and starts feeding people with her finger, like, oh yeah, is that sauce good? Oh, that sauce is good. So she's in the
Jed,
movie.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Did you walk into the wrong theater and
I wish.
gaze upon some filth of ill repute that should be behind closed doors and locking keys and KY jelly to oneself? Because that's what this sounds like. I'm very confused.
I wish.
I'm very confused on. Maybe I'm asking the wrong question. What was this movie about?
Multiple Mickeys making it so people can live on a snow planet.
Do the Mickeys get any smarter, or are they all autistic retarded the whole time?
17's the most autistic. 18's okay. Like he's aggressive, he's angry, but he's a little bit more intelligent. So Mickey's backstory is he feels like he deserves to be an expendable because he's a bad person. Because when he was driving with his mom in like 2025 or something real close to our time, he's like 5 years old. There's a big red button in the car and he presses it, and a few seconds later they get into a car accident and the mom dies, and he blames himself for it, and he's like, I deserve to be an expendable because I pressed the red button in a car, which is, it was like the hazard light. It wasn't like a parking brake or anything like that. And Mickey 18's like, you're a moron. There's no button in a car just to kill the driver instantaneously. And if there were, they wouldn't put a 5-year-old in the passenger seat near this evil button. So 18 was a little bit more intelligent than 17.
But here's the thing. Listen, I've partaken of plenty of clone type of situation stories. It takes time for clones to develop personalities.
Oh, their personalities and memories are uploaded to them moments after printing.
Yeah, so, I mean, whether you like it or not, the Clone Wars does a good job of showing clone personalities, you know, and there are I've got other shows I can reference, whether it's anime or live actions or novels, where we deal with clones and personalities. If it's an original mind, not a augmented mind, or somebody transferring their soul or personality into it to replace it because it's a blank slate. What you described to me, which seems like this whole movie, is completely lacking in any sort of rules for the science.
Oh,
and
100%.
And in terms of how a clone develops, like, oh, okay, so if we're just slapping the memories of one on there, then it should be the same person every time. And even if they may evolve something different, there should be no change of personality within hours.
Oh yeah, so, Mickey 17 is 20 hours old, 24 hours old when the movie starts. Mickey 18 was born a couple hours after that. So
that makes no sense. That doesn't make any sense. They should be the same person if played by the rules, the very sketchy, shallow, idiotic rules you described.
Yeah, there's no scientific accuracy. The trailers were great. I love the trailers. They promised a little bit of a thriller. They promised delving into the psychology of clones, a little bit of the philosophy, the morality. Like the trailers implied it would be a deep movie, at least to a certain extent.
And
this
like
was
clone armies and shit.
Yeah. Oh, the trailer said that there would be more than 2 multiples. There was a trailer that said, oh, this is Mickey 21. Oh, this is Mickey 30. And all these different Mickeys. There's only 2. 17 and 18 are the only clones at the same time.
They're not allowed to do that anymore. There's laws against that kind of shit for trailers.
It was really dumb. Oh, and you'll love this, Adam. It starts in medias res, about an hour into the story. We get back to where it opens, but it doesn't just do that once. It does it for the entire movie. You're just zip-zapping along the timeline, and because it's all narrated by Mickey 17's autistic, high-pitched, I'm like a smart person voice, it's unbearable to listen to. So the climax of the movie happens. Mark Ruffalo dies, and then it skips forward 6 months, and the black lady who's was just a cop, like low level cop, is somehow one of the most important members of the committee, which is like the Congress for the ship, and she's abolished cloning and blows up the cloning machine. And Mickey's given the button to blow it up, and then it cuts back, and he explains everything that happened in that 6 months, and then that 6 months ties directly into a dream sequence where he sees Sauce Lady reprinting her husband, and you're thinking, all right, did this happen? And then he wakes up. Apparently, while he's holding the button ready to press it, he had a dream sequence about the evil Mark Ruffalo getting reprinted, and they went directly into it from the flashbacks of those 6 months. The plot wise, it's chaotic.
This is why Hollywood is dying. Even when you have something that is original, because you mentioned earlier, there's a book this is based on. You can't get it right. You there's no influencing anything. There's no saying, oh, here's a fan base we have to please, or we're trying to win over this fake fan base. None of that's just involved. It's just something original you could put out there and just try to make a mid-level, quirky science fiction movie, and you shit the bed. You shit the bed because word of mouth has destroyed this movie, from what I understand. It's completely destroyed this movie.
It's not going to be good. From what I hear, the book is actually pretty interesting and actually tries with the sci-fi. Instead of making a translation device out of bullshit, early on in the book, they apparently experiment on Mickey and give him basically a neural transmitter because he's going to dangerous situations, so they want to give him telepathic communication, basically. And the aliens communicate telepathically, so they're able to contact his telepathic device, and that's how they communicate. That's a lot more legitimate than, I heard them warble, here, let me imitate warbling that isn't right, and you made me a translation device, thank you. Oh, and Mark Ruffalo, he's all about the performance. He's always having camera crews around him, and so he's going to, the climax of the film is him driving out to an army of these aliens with camera crews and the translation device, and he's going to give them an epic speech about how God thinks they deserve to die, and we're the pure people, because that was a big thing. He wanted to breed the Aryan race. It was full on, like, we wanted pure white people on this planet. We're going to be
Why
pure
is there a
white
black
people.
lady cop?
And there were black ladies doing the, Yahtzee salute in his rally speech. But yeah, he's going to speech to them about how evil they are for not being white people and aliens on top of that. So they deserve to die and God will punish them. But he's going to stand gloriously above the ashes. Like, it's so blatantly anti-Trump that I can't even fathom it. Like, there's nothing to compare Mark Ruffalo's performance to. There has never been a more obvious and more vile impersonation of a public figure than Mark Ruffalo, I think.
Listen, I'm happy to take the L on this one. I'm happy to take
53 million is too much.
Yeah,
this movie does not deserve that much.
I'm happy to take the L because I'm going to get plenty of wins as we go through the rest of this year. So I'm happy to take this L. I'm sorry you had to see it. But,
I wanted it to be good. I was so excited for it.
At least you could say you were you had hope, and you're not completely dead inside. That's what at least you could say.
I might be now.
Oh, okay.
I've learned my lesson. Never have faith. Cautious optimistic is unwarranted.
Oh man. Well, there you go. Mickey 17. They should have stopped at 16. Maybe would have gotten a movie.
Oh yeah, for some reason in the book it's Mickey 7. There was only 8 clones in the book, and they decided to bump it up by 10 for a funny montage. Oh yeah, it can't decide if it's a comedy, a thriller, a horror movie, or anything like that. And the comedy is just, I'm retarded. That's the level of
that's a
comedy.
Clip. That's a clip.
Now clip that.
We've got several already. I'm gonna have to. Those are good ones. I like that. Okay, so all right, from anger to indifference. Dre, let's preface this now. Jed, you didn't have time. You're going to, but you just didn't have time to get to it.
Yeah, I was trying to finish up my Daredevil Netflix rewatch, and I just finished that on Friday and didn't get a chance yesterday.
That is fair. Prepping for it. That's fair. Now, and as for me, I've said it many times. I don't like Daredevil as a superhero. I never have my entire life. He doesn't do it for me. I'm not interested. Therefore, I didn't care about the previous show. I don't care about this one. I am indifferent. I'm a different kind of indifference because it's not something I am interested in. But I have said many times, this is the only thing that has a chance to be successful for the MCU in 2025 because of the surrounding story where they scrapped the crap, supposedly, in order to eliminate anything remotely She-Hulk and all that kind of stuff and go and make it an actual continuation of the previous one. So, all that being said, Dre, who is a Daredevil fan, who knows the history, which is why I'm happy to turn this over to him now. Use indifference is the first word you use. So go ahead, Dre, lay it out for us.
So let me preface. Well, first and foremost, let me grab something.
Okay. Oh, show and tell. I love show and tell. It's nerd credit. So I appreciate that.
This is the greatest Netflix thing ever created, ever in the history of humankind. Period. It's not for debate. It's what it is. This show does its best to try to capture the atmosphere of the original Netflix show. You can tell where the effort was made in order to try to capture that. And I'll tip my hat off to the directors and writers for that. But there's just too much crap that they're handcuffed to that they have to blend.
Now, is that MCU crap?
MCU crap.
Okay.
That they have to blend. And that's where the show starts to lose me. And to be fair, my personal opinion is that it was solid as a watch as far as the MCU Disney Plus is concerned. It is by far the best MCU Disney show that's ever been.
What
made.
I've heard.
It's not hyperbole. Yeah. That is true. Now,
it's not difficult though.
It's not a hard thing.
Not a high bar. Not a high bar at all.
That bar is lower than a Jamaican limbo. Okay.
Amen.
Now, that being said, Vincent D'Onofrio, flawless. Charlie Cox, amazing. Every other side character, burn it all to the ground.
Did they ruin Foggy and Karen?
Oh,
no, they killed Foggy off in episode 1.
They killed Foggy in episode 1.
Now everybody says read the comics. He's not really dead. That's what I've heard.
So we're not even going to include the comics. We're not going to talk about that because they're off on their own tangent because they're trying to run from the 2015 Mayor Fisk comic run, which was a good comic. Let's not get that out the way. That was a good comic, but they have to inculcate that because they already did Born Again in this season 3. They've already did that already. They already did it already. So the pilot episode 1, was reshot. It was reshot because the original pilot was, I don't know, some nonsense. Probably somebody with no penis saying something ridiculous, whatever. But the pilot episode was shot well. The bullseye fight scene was very cool. They tried to recreate the one shot through the stairwell type thing. That was fine. There's too much CGI, though.
I've heard that as well. Yeah, I've heard that.
Way too much CGI. That was distracting because it's not even good CGI. Mm-hmm. We're doing Rubber Band Man type CGI. That mess was distracting. Even with the including of shadows to try to disguise it, it's not good. The CGI is not good. Mm-hmm. Period. And that I did not like at all. But I liked the fight scene between Bullseye and Daredevil. I thought it was very poignant. I think for the story, what they were trying to tell, because it's cutting between their fight and the heartbeat of Foggy slowly dying and stuff. Like all that cinematography done is excellent. It's done excellently. Here is the issue, which once again, I'm saying this because I believe that the writers were handcuffed to try to blend MCU nonsense. So they do a time skip because we have to find a way to justify why Daredevil wasn't involved in any of this other stuff throughout these MCU shows.
And
So
to
we do a
ignore
1 year
She-Hulk.
time.
And to
Yeah.
ignore She-Hulk.
Okay, this will give them credit. There's no mention of it.
Yeah.
There's no mention of She-Hulk. Thank white God. That's white Jesus involved there. That there was no mention of She-Hulk at all, which is great. Now, here's the problem.
Mhm.
Echo exists in this world.
Yes, I've heard that as well. Yeah.
Echo exists. Everything that happened in the Echo show exists. Everything that happened in Hawkeye exists in this show. And so they had to find a way to tie in all that garbage that we watched into this that's much more competent. So they have Vanessa be the queen pin in his absence, which did happen in the comics. That did happen. So, like in the end of season 3, he's hauled off to prison or whatever, but we don't know how he gets out because we had this MCU garbage of him just being out and running the tracksuit gang and all that nonsense and garbage and trash. Because when the MCU started using Kingpin, it was supposed to be a different version of Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin. But some adults got into the room and said, this is retarded. And it's like, hey, we got to find a way to blend this all to make it all go seamless. So they have Vanessa running the Empire, and now this is the part that kind of distracted me a bit, about them having marital issues because he's been estranged for many years.
She cucks him, right?
Huh?
She cucks him, right?
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's banging somebody. They didn't show the guy. I don't know. Maybe they showed the guy. I don't know. All I know is that like he walks up on her and is like, "You banging that dude?" She's like, "But don't kill him." He's like, "Yeah, I won't kill him." I'm like, "Excuse me, this is what he does. He kills people." And so they're trying to blend that he got in touch with whatever the native one-armed Echo did to her. Like they're trying to blend that crap into him actually trying to parry that as a spiritual revelation to run for mayor. But he is still him. He is still a gangster. So that's Vincent D'Onofrio doing what he does and still finding a way to actually make Kingpin feel like a legitimate threat. The scenes between Matt Murdock and the Kingpin in the diner is as impactful as the originals. Not even close. But the two good actors doing really good work, and you can tell that they're doing the best they can with the schlock that they were given. And they make me want to make me want to watch more because of how good they are and what they are bringing to the script and what they're bringing to the table. Man, but it's just, and like what the,
how many episodes are in this season?
I think it's gonna be 9.
9. I've heard that he doesn't put the suit back on until 5.
That wouldn't surprise me. And look,
not again. That was the worst thing about season 3.
Look, I'll agree with that as well, Jed. I think that is the worst thing about season 3 is that he's not wearing it. But this one, they're trying to focus more on it being a courtroom drama. Now, to be fair, this executed that perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a nice little way of doing it right now using White Tiger. Now, I think that's interesting enough that White Tiger is actually a character that's from Jesus Christ, Iron Fist. Is Iron Fist character. Now, I actually like the second version of White Tiger that's from the Shadowland comic when it's his niece takes over the mantle after he dies. I actually like that. I actually like her. That's actually pretty cool. But so it's about him being in court for end up accident. Well, he fought off 2 cops that were not in uniform that were abusing some guy, and one of the cops ended up slipping and falling and getting hit by a train. And so now he's being framed for it by crooked cops. But we actually have legitimate legal jargon in this show. This ain't She-Hulk nonsense. you can actually see that people took their time to know what legal terms to use when Matt finds out that he's actually White Tiger. They find good ways of trying to blend everything, and they do a good job. You can tell that there are adults in the room. You can tell that there is, but there's too much trash. There's just too much trash to unbury, and it's tough for me because I really want this show to knock it out of the park. I really do. And the second episode dives deeper into Matt trying to still avoid being Daredevil, but he's being drugged back into the life because of him having to be a hero for the person that's going to be his key witness, because these dirty cops are trying to kill him.
Wasn't that the whole point of season 3, though? Him not wanting to be Daredevil and being dragged back into it and, being born again as Daredevil again?
Hence, Jay, once again, God bless you. Hence why season 3 was the Born Again storyline. This should not be called Daredevil Born Again. It should be called Mayor Fisk. That's what the show should be called, because that's the comic that they're using. Or Shadowland. Pick Shadowland. It's one of my favorite runs. Pick that. Or call it Man Without Fear. Call it anything else other than Born Again. Anything else. Call it Dude with a Walking Stick. Whatever you want to call it. This is not Born Again. We've done it already. So it's just like, just to put it all on the table. Do I think the first 2 episodes are bad? No, not by a long shot. Don't think these are bad. But at the same time, I have no choice but to compare it to what this is. Because this is now officially a successor to this show. It's not debatable. It's not what if, maybe, kind of. This is essentially Netflix Daredevil season 4. That's what this is supposed to be. Yeah. So I have to compare it to this. And comparing it to it, it's not even close. They're not even the same stratosphere.
Now, we've still got Punisher to make an appearance. They've alluded to the fact that cops have Punisher tattoos.
Yes. One of the dirty cops does have a Punisher tattoo. So here we go. Now here we go with the nonsense. This is how we get with the nonsense, because I think I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that 4 episodes were shot before they said sticks of dynamite, let's blow it all
18. It was supposed to be 18 episodes.
Yeah,
the original thing.
Yeah, but I think I know the script was done, but I think 4 episodes were shot before they blew it up. That's what I think. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was 4. I remember that number. There's a lot of as we know, in our real world, there are cops that use the Punisher symbol on the hood of the cars and whatever, because in the real world, Punisher is cops' superhero because of what he stands for, what he represents and stuff, which is fine. Everybody has their favorites. I don't give a crap. However, when this joint was shot, there was all that alluding to cops using this symbol as like, hey, we wish we could kill people that we feel like we can take the lives of. We wish we could take the lives of. There's no question that they are alluding to that. There's no question that they're alluding to a negative cop story. 110%.
Marvel is afraid of that. They don't want Punisher to be so cops, because these are people who believe ACAB. These are people who believe that stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I just can't see Disney portraying that as well as the Netflix show did, because the showrunner said there's going to be a lot less navel gazing than the original show, and one of the most iconic scenes outside the hallway fight from the Netflix show is the conversation between Punisher and Daredevil on the rooftop, where they're just talking about their competing moral philosophies, and it's done so well that you don't really disagree with either person. Either person is bringing strong arguments, and even Daredevil has to question his stance by the end of that season, because Frank Castle is fully aware. He's been in the shit. He knows that, with corrupt people, corrupt stuff happens. Sometimes you need the permanent solution. And Disney is never going to be okay with that perspective. They're never going to be okay with exploring that with nuance like the Netflix show did. And it is nuance. You don't always want to be on Frank Castle's side. You don't always want to be on Daredevil's side. Every individual needs to find a middle ground with what works with their moral philosophy as well. Disney it doesn't deal in middle grounds. It doesn't deal in complexity. It deals in black and white. And so they're going to take it to an extreme. But because they can't handle the Christian aspect of Daredevil, I've heard that they're still alluding to his Catholicism in Born Again, but it's not as upfront as
Toning
it was.
it down.
Toning it down compared to the Netflix show.
Yeah,
so they can't choose his side, but because of the Summer of Love and other stuff like that, they can't go full Punisher side. So I just see that they're gonna demonize both sides and say we're the white. They're both different types of black in a negative sense, and it's just gonna be done so poorly that I don't want them to touch Punisher. I like the fact that Frank Castle can interact with Daredevil again, but that's one of the things I'm most worried about is Disney ruining that interaction.
Yeah, they're gonna. They're gonna, and you can tell once again where the original shoots were, because unfortunately the actor that had played White Tiger actually did pass away in 2023. So all the scenes that he's in or things that are alluded to him in are definitely not reshot on any level. Those are all the scenes that they shot, the 4 episodes that they shot back in 2023. It is still here. It's still here and it's very prevalent, and I can see how this is going to go down south, because as competent as these new writers, the new script folks may be, they're handcuffed to a lot of trash that they're trying to sift through. And I see their struggle. I see them trying their best to try to circumvent the trash that they were handcuffed to. And I tip my rag to them, because they're in a very impossible situation. Because we have a couple of characters that are absolutely insufferable, and I don't want them to be there anymore. First and foremost, Kristen McDuffie. Yes, she is a comic accurate character, and yes, when
who is that? I don't
know. Okay, duh.
For the uneducated.
Kristen McDuffie was a district attorney in the comics after Daredevil leaves Hell's Kitchen and goes to San Francisco, and they open up a law firm together called Murdoch and McDuffie.
Okay.
So she's in this. She has essentially replaced Karen Page. She's the Karen Page of our show.
Okay, I know what you're talking about because I saw a screen cap. That's one of the lesbian witches from Acolyte.
What? Oh, is she? Is she?
Yeah, she was the I just lost the race name. Just slipped my brain.
The race name?
No, the racist name. Her alien racist name. She was the.
Okay. I thought you were like, what? How do I say black right?
No. I suddenly, my mind is caught between two things. She was the angry one with the horns. I suddenly can't remember that racist name. Darth Maul's race. I suddenly can't remember.
From Dathomir.
Zabrak.
Well, they're not Zabraks. Like, Zabraks are not from Dathomir. Fucking Dave Filoni bullshit. No, Zabraks. Thank you, Zabraks. Yeah, she was the angry Zabrak lesbian witch from Acolyte. That actress.
Are you? Wait, let me look up real quick. Well, Kristen McDuffie, she's a black girl. Whatever. I don't care. I don't care where she comes from. I don't care. She don't belong here. The fact of the matter is, you replace her, and you kill off Foggy, and you put in some black retired cop who is an original character for this show. May I add, not comic accurate character, and then you put Kristen McDuffie, who is now good. Who has to be constantly affirmed all the time. Right when they made the firm together, and Matt comes like, why did I hire you? He's like, because I'm the best and I'm the smartest. And he's like, yeah, of course you are. I'm like, we don't just give us a courtroom scene with her in it doing courtroom things, and then we can make our own assessment of how good she is. But you have to once again tell the audience this black girl is the best and she's great, and I'm pretty sure she's going to upstage Matt in an episode or two. Like you see it coming. You see it already coming, and then the retired black detective. The supporting cast is trash. Let's just call it like it is. The supporting cast is trash, and nothing is worse. Nothing is worse than BB Urich. I almost threw myself out my window. For those of the uninitiated, Ben Urich is one of the greatest Daredevil supporting characters of all time, which, of course, he was portrayed in the season 1 and was killed by the Kingpin, which in my personal opinion, still was the only mistake the Netflix Daredevil ever did.
Really?
Should have. Yes, in my personal opinion. Granted, it served the story very well, but Ben Urich is one of the most important side characters in all of Daredevil lore. He's the one that actually discovers who Daredevil is. Always like he is like that guy. So I think killing him off was a mistake, personally. But it served the story very well. It pushed things to another level. 100%. It was for the show itself. It elevated things, but as far as long term, I thought it was a mistake. They have now created a character named BB Urich, who is his niece. And she is a street reporter that, like how you walk around with your phone, like you've seen like some of them Jones on Twitter, like they walk up to random people and be like, what do you think? What do you believe in? What do you blah, blah, blah. She is that type of Gen Zer on the street beat person. And she finds a way to pull strings with one of the campaign folks for Kingpin to get a interview with him. And Jed, I'm gonna ask you a very simple question. If I'm going to interview you, would I ask you questions?
Yeah, it seems to be the definition of interview.
Yes. She asks no questions.
She just preaches at him.
She just preaches at him. Now, granted, he responded the proper way of get out of here, which is definitely the way I would have responded as well. But if you are a reporter, you are going to ask questions. This is once again the problem. A holdover from when they first filmed. Without question. Without question, she's a holdover from before they scrapped all the crap that they could not get rid of because it is tied into a character and ultimately an actor that is no longer with us. Her being in the show adds nothing. But she's there to antagonize the Kingpin so we can have a moment of him reflecting on killing Ben Urich.
Yeah, that's not a big deal for him. He's never had an issue with Ben Urich's death.
I'm just sitting there. I'm like, bro. And then even when he realizes who she is, he doesn't react. He doesn't do anything of like, I'm going to destroy her. Like nothing. He's like, girl, you're poking the bear. Get out of my office. And rightfully so. She does. Yeah, and she asked about his wife. Like, oh, what's up with your wife? Like, why aren't y'all seen together or whatever?
Definitely an important question.
What do we do? You're a beat reporter you are in the face of the sitting mayor, and you just want to get a scoop on if he's still a good person. What happened to the black cop that went to?
He was a good.
He's not even in it. He's not even in it. He's not even there. That would have been great if they connected that because, that was good Daredevil. Undisputedly good. But he's not even in it. They got some different police chief who is going to get murdered at some point. I'm just like, there's just so much. The show had a chance. The show had a chance. And it still does. It still does. Maybe they cleaned up more of the stuff that was filmed back in 2023. Maybe they did. Go for it, Adam.
I've heard rumors, and this is a couple weeks ago, so take it what you will, that we might see Ms. Marvel.
Don't do that.
Yeah, there were reports. I think it's episode 7 is what's being said.
Well, we'll get to that road when we get there. And if you see me blowing my top off like an Acme Hour character, you know why. Because this is and they've made it very clear. This is a Daredevil show because you killed off Foggy. And Karen,
I will not forgive this show for that. Foggy is amazing. The Netflix performance, he's one of the best characters. I think he's right up there with Kingpin and Daredevil. He's awesome.
You are correct.
He's the moral compass
now,
as much as anything.
They say he's signed on for season 2.
So season 2, this is what I'm suspecting. I don't think they're gonna go like in the comics, it's like he fakes his death. I don't think they're going that route. I don't think they're doing the resurrection thing. I think what they're gonna do is that there's gonna be flashback episodes of him and Matt together. I think that's what they're gonna do because I don't think because now if you bring Foggy back, you are now undermining the show so excruciatingly that you're going to undo the work that you're putting in now. It will be undone because the whole catalyst of the show, because I reshot the entire pilot because apparently the first pilot was so bad that no mortal should have gazed upon it, that they reshot the pilot, brought back Foggy and Karen for the pilot episode reshoots because of how bad the pilot was. So they did this and then made a huge splash in their first episode, 110%. It got people talking. It definitely raised a lot of eyebrows, but I think it's not the right answer. But once again, Jed, we're back to the same point. You are handcuffed with, let's call like it is, She-Hulk nonsense, Echo nonsense, and Hawkeye nonsense. So now you have to find a way to justify the disappearance of Daredevil for a period of time. So in order to justify this, you have to, one, kill him. Foggy. Kill Foggy so he could be like, hey, I failed to save my best friend, so now I'm never putting on the mask again. You have to find a way to blend it with this garbage. And this is where the show I can see having a very hard time trying to circumvent the trash. And that's what makes me upset.
If they had done like it doesn't sound like an Elektra situation where they set up her resurrection in with her death. So I from what I hear, it sounds like Foggy's gonna stay dead, which is disappointing. And just with Elektra's death, I've never seen Defenders, and when I went through season Daredevil 2 to 3, I didn't know you needed to watch Defenders.
Yeah,
so that was a little jarring. For those who don't know, Elektra died at the end of season 2 of Daredevil, was resurrected for Defenders, and then died again. Yeah. And so the start of season 3 is a building fell on Daredevil and Elektra, and now he's depressed about it. What the hell is going on? So
look, me personally, and this is I'm definitely in the minority here. I personally enjoyed Defenders. I personally enjoyed it. Was it narratively all over the place? Absolutely. Was there some bad decisions made as far as casting, especially for the Five Fingers of the Hand? 100%. And I love me some Sigourney Weaver. I've done unspeakable things to myself in her name, but she was not supposed to be. She shouldn't have been there. And the things they did, and I think what made it better, more palatable, because it was mostly just Daredevil season 2.5. Let's call it like it is. And they just featured the Luke Cage and Iron Fist and Jessica Jones. They were there and they played their roles pretty well. So to be fair, I enjoyed Defenders. It's by no means great, but I think it was still a lot of fun. And I love the Elektra of this run. I'm in love with her. I'm in love with that woman because like the nature of their relationship, that toxic relationship that you just can't get out of. Ooh, the lolly. That don't spoke to me deep within my loin. It was severe. But anyway, that's a completely different tangent. But this show has the potential to get on track. But my fear is there is so much garbage that it has to try to circumvent that's going to take away from. Now, I hope I'm wrong. Honestly, I want this show to be a banger. I want this show to do well. It's one of my favorite characters. It's one of my favorite comic book TV shows. I want this joint to do well, but I am really, 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 really
the doubt
pessimistic.
Is present. The doubt is present.
Yeah. I really don't think it's going to do it because of what it has to circumvent. I think it's too much MCU phase 4, phase 5, whatever number they
even referenced Spider-Man, didn't they?
Yes, they make a Spider-Man a man in a spider costume.
Yeah, because they're not because of the deal, they're not allowed to show Spider-Man But this clearly, because this is post No Way Home, nobody knows it's Peter Parker, so he's just Spider-Man again. So,
Yeah,
but they
but
referenced
once
it
again, Adam, that poses another problem.
because
That's
Matt Murdock
another.
was in No Way Home.
We have too many problems on our hands. We have too many problems that this show is trying to circumvent. No Way Home and the mind erase of who Peter Parker is. The fact that Spider-Man's being acknowledged in an off the beat way, acknowledged that he's in this universe. So we are trying to find a way to justify why superpower people are being hated when Avengers is down the street.
Well, Dre, there are no Avengers right now. There are no Avengers.
The tower is. The towers. It didn't show the tower, but the tower is down the street, and everybody loves heroes. So I'm having a hard time justifying how they're going to flip this. Now, once again, the comic does it very, very well. It shows the collateral, the damage, blah 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 blah. Finds a way to divide the boroughs, and this is what this hero did, or whatever, to justify how he's going to outlaw superpowered beings in the most superpowered being place on Earth. They found a way to do it very, very well in the comics. They are like, there's too much garbage. It's too much garbage to try to overcome. I really hope they pull it off, but every time they try to make a reference and do those connecting tissues, it does more damage every time.
Could have stayed in its own Netflix universe.
It really could have, which they found a way. This was so freaking brilliant because they were still able to acknowledge the stuff that happened in New York. They kept mentioning it as the event and stuff like that. So we were still connected in a way to see how that the things that were happening in the films are still affecting this world without it being so, well, we talked to this person. It was done perfectly. It's able to have a contained story in a particular borough of Hell's Kitchen. God dang it, man.
Well, I hope for the best. You got, I guess, 6-7 episodes left.
Yeah.
I hope that people will get something good out of this.
And I'm hoping, I really want this joint to knock it out of the park. And one last thing I'm going to say, this suffers from not having the Netflix model. This suffers by not having it. Not having the batch drop actually hurts this show, in my personal opinion.
Interesting. That's interesting.
I think this actually hurts the show because of the hard cuts at the end of every episode. It's literally still shot the way this one is shot, where you're like, oh, let me just jump right into the next one and then continue from where we were leaving off before. Now that I have to wait a week in between, like, oh, the final moment, the momentum is gone.
All right. So this speaks to the idea of, do these people in charge of this, because these are not the original people that did the Netflix show, right? No. So we have a case of people working on a Disney Plus Marvel show that still don't know how to make television?
Of course.
Okay.
They're using, see, like now we equate, which is their fault. We equate same day drops as your show is bad. That is what we equate it to now on Disney Plus or whatever.
Definitely on Disney Plus. The more you drop it once, the faster you want to get it done and over with.
Yes. Yes. So like Echo dropped all their crap in 1 minute. So
trying to manipulate the minutes viewed situation for ratings. Just to try and get it out there, which recently has not worked on several of their projects.
Has not. And I think that I understand, once again, I understand completely why they're dropping it like this, because you want return and you think your show is good enough to have people return. And in my personal opinion, I think it might be. But because of how this show is shot and how those hard cuts are used, it is still trying to use the Netflix model of streaming without it being back to back to back. And that's I think that's a problem. I think that's a problem because a one episode does not tell a complete episodical story. It doesn't at all.
And from what I understand now, I've heard in the past, I would guess now 72 hours since everybody started watching this.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of different conversations, both internally, privately, on stream, videos, right here and now. Some people really like this. And some people are being highly critical of those who are saying this can't happen here. Those are being too hateful on it. Some are saying give it a chance. Some who've seen what's going to come. There are some in our circles who have seen more than us. They're saying give it a chance. It can be better. And there's a lot of conflicting messaging going on here. And as someone who has no horse in this race outside of I want the MCU to take a giant shit and die, when it comes to this show, though, I've seen enough people want it to be good, so I'm willing to say, have your good show. Enjoy yourself. Because as you said before, now having tasted this in another, I guess, 6-7 weeks, nothing's going to change as far as the MCU because of this show.
No.
You still hold on to that statement?
Absolutely, 110%. I think this is going to be a flash in the pan, and let's just say, for the sake of argument, that this show, the next 7 episodes, blows it out of the freaking park. Let's just say peak. All right, we are going to enjoy it, and we may, in certain circles that have Disney Plus or got it from the high seas, we're going to rewatch it and enjoy it for what it is, and probably tell our friends that, hey, this show is actually good. Go and watch it.
It doesn't mean you're going to go watch Vision Quest.
Nope. Not for 1 second.
Doesn't
not
mean you're going to go
watch
Ree Williams.
Nope. This is not going to move that needle whatsoever. The people, let's call a spade a spade. The reason why anybody's watching this show, and if it's even going to chart, even if it does chart, it's because of this. There's no question. It's not up for debate. It's not hyperbole. It's because everybody and their grandmama loves this series, period. That's why the show, 1, was made, and 2, why it's even going to get any viewership. Riri Williams, I'm going to get more videos watching gophers digging up my yard than sitting watching that trash. Okay? No one's watching that. No one's watching Vision Quest. The goodwill that the Netflix show had is what's carrying this show right now. No, like why would we watch Riri Williams? Under what circumstance would we watch a Ironheart show? Anybody?
Some people will be made to watch it. I'm not going to.
I'm not talking about people that's being forced against their will. Adam, call the police. Call the police.
Hey,
because
listen,
you're clearly being.
I don't make you guys watch anything. Dermy pretends to make me watch stuff, and it never happens. I usually watch it for my own purposes. Stuff that I don't want to watch, I don't watch. But there are sometimes some people watch it so they can have the full discussion. I'm not going to waste my time on that. It's Riri Williams. I still think they're going to dump Ironheart in the dead of night all at once. They're going to batch drop that shit like did Echo. They're going to echo that shit.
Yeah. When is it supposed to come out?
It was supposed to be out 2 years ago, Jim.
Well, right. But what's the current release date?
I have no idea. This year? We don't know.
Tomorrow?
We don't
Tomorrow,
know.
maybe.
I don't know. And
nobody cares.
And I only mentioned Vision Quest because Vision Quest is being run by a talented guy, Terry Metalis. He's talented. He's good at making television. And he could be and he's done weekly television because I have it over here. Just lost to 12 Monkeys. God damn, I'm having a bad day. 12 Monkeys. Yeah. Listen. All right. I do the best I can.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, I do the crystal mass. That's what it sounded like.
Clip. That's another Jet clip. Wow. Give me material for next week's clip reel. All right. No, I do the best I can. No,
I aim to serve.
He did 12 Monkeys, which is fantastic. He did the best he could with Picard season 3. He's a talented guy. Suffers from TDS like they all do, but is a talented guy.
Yeah.
But Vision Quest, talk about how many years too late?
5.
Yeah. That should have been your second show after WandaVision.
Sure. I agree.
When people were still willing to give it a chance.
Yeah.
But now nobody's going to tune into it because also, unless you're a nerd like me who pays attention, nobody even knows who Terry Metalis is. They don't know that he can make good television. So, Vision Quest, Riri Williams. I think are there any more TV shows that are waiting to drop on and steam on the concrete? I don't know. Are there?
I don't think so.
Wait,
no. Nope. No,
then we
that's
just got
canceled.
then we got Thunderbolts, and we got Baby
Oh,
Steps.
yeah. That movie's coming out.
Yeah, we got and they just started working on Doomsday over in England. Can't wait for that budget. So it's the TV is done, and if it's to be believed, to slightly get outside the MCU box, Disney as a whole, there've been some stories past couple of weeks. They are abandoning long form storytelling on Disney Plus. They're moving away from it because it's a money pit. Disney Plus makes no money. It's a failure. Therefore, I wouldn't be surprised once they roll out once they drop Vision and leave him to melt. I don't think we see another MCU TV show.
Nor should we.
I mean,
Shouldn't.
You might get a season 2 of this one if this settles well enough.
That is, I mean, that's already being rumored now. That could be something that's already been ordered. Let me.
We don't. Yeah, you know how this shit works. They might have already ordered it, and they're just going to.
Have they ordered Echo season 2?
No.
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 That has not been ordered. Matter of fact, somebody that even suggested it's probably buried somewhere. So that
with the Native American ancestors.
Yeah,
An Indian burial ground.
But
don't bury your pets there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If you know, you know.
So this, I mean, there are already rumors that there's already getting a season 2 of this. And look, if this season 1 knocks it out of the park, I will look forward to a season 2. I will look forward to it. I miss just having fun with television. I really do. If this don't knocks it out of the park, I'll be the first person waiting for season 2 to go and have myself a good time. Bring back Jessica Jones. Bring back Luke Cage. Leave Iron Fist over there.
Technically, those are all canon now because of Defenders.
Yeah, they're all canon.
Yeah.
They're all canon, but just leave Iron Fist over there. Leave.
Yeah, he doesn't need to come over.
Leave that over there. That was one of the worst shows.
Didn't they? Didn't they give it to a little girl at the end of the season?
I want to talk about. I don't want to talk about that show.
I've struggled with the other shows. I watched the first season of The Punisher, thought that was amazing. But Jessica Jones, I tried several times to get into, couldn't do it. Luke Cage, I tried a couple times, couldn't do it. I never tried Iron Fist and Defenders, though.
Okay, let me tell you something. Luke Cage, that show is trash. That show is trash. It's trash. It's trash. And I said it years ago, and every black guy was like, "You just hating." No, nobody loves Power Man more than me. I got Power Man over. I got Power Man over there in my daggone collection of comics. Okay, so when people come with me with like, oh, you brother, you got the blackies. I'm like, no, I don't. If it's trash, it's trash. It's a bad show. Granted, they had some cool characters. They killed off Cottonmouth. Like there was cool characters in there. But the whole thing about like, this is Harlem, baby, and we doing nothing but blackities. I'm like, listen, sir, can we just have a superhero show? Like everything was like, the cops are on my back, Luke. You gotta get these blue folks up off me, dog. I'm like, bruh, how much more of this I gotta watch? How much more of this I gotta watch? We get some superhero in. Granted, he was banging hot chicks, and I respect that. But outside of that, I'm like, I didn't resonate with that show. Misty Knight was hot, 110%. But I didn't resonate with that show. I didn't like it. I didn't like that. Freaking Iron Fist may be one of the most dullest television shows I've ever watched, except like I think like 10th episode of season 1 where he fought the drunken Fistmaster. That was entertaining. Outside of that, the rest of that show was a complete waste of my time. Jessica Jones, I enjoyed the first season of Jessica Jones personally. I thought it was a nice detective noir show. Then after season 2, right when season 2 hit, it went downhill. Jed, unlike you, I hated the Punisher show, both seasons.
Really?
I think Punisher is one of those characters that should have mystique, that should be a flash in the pan. Once you follow him for 12 hours, the idea of what he does, now we understand why he does all this killing, and now he has to have emotions. I'm not interested.
We don't need emotions.
That's not my kind of character for that. Like Punisher is there to lay waste and then move on with his day. When we spent 2 seasons with him, I'm like, okay, I gotta go. And they messed up Jigsaw. And I'll never forgive them for that. They ruined him. I won't stand for it. But Jed, if you enjoyed it, you enjoyed it. But I say all that to say this.
Tell me he's wrong. Tell me he's wrong. Tell me he's full of shit. I don't know.
So I say that to say this: if they make a second season of Daredevil and feature these characters, let's go. Let's do a Heroes for Hire episode. Let's do a legit Defenders episode. Let's do a crossover with a Punisher and Daredevil doing things, or Jessica Jones. Like have that type of hybrid episodical mentality. Then we got some fun going on.
So avoid a narrative, avoid an overall story arc. Just
Agreed.
Give us a comic.
Yes.
That's what you're saying.
Give us a comic. Give us a comic of this episode. Jessica Jones comes to the other side of town, and because she's hunting a murderer or something and needs Daredevil's help. Good God, I'm about to say it out loud.
And I can't believe I'm going to say this because, as Jedwell knows, I am a fan of serialized storytelling. I love it when things are serialized, but it sounds like they should not serialize any of this shit.
I agree. I think we should go back to when it comes to these comic films or comic TV shows. We need to go back to how the animated works.
You can go 2 episodes. You could give me a 2-parter.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, of course, a 2-parters. Of course, absolutely. We love a 2-parter, but I think we need to go back to it feeling like its own contained story in each episode. I think we need to go back to doing that. Like if we go back and watch, heck, we don't have to go back far. Let's go back to X-Men 97. Let's go back to X-Men 97. I enjoyed that show. And the way that they handled a lot of that stuff was contain stories until they got to like the end, the last 2 or 3 episodes. I enjoyed that for what it was. You hit bits and pieces of the stories that came before that helps develop a character, but we focus on the villain of the day. I think that would be really cool, and I think that would be a lot of fun.
I don't think they know how to do that anymore, and I think everybody's obsessed with serialized storytelling. To the fact that everybody obsessed with it, they don't know how to do it anymore. That's the problem. Nobody
Disney
knows
never knew how.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, that's
Nobody,
also true.
It's hard.
The Disney Channel doesn't count.
No.
Nobody watches that.
There's a lack of skill.
Well, back in the day.
Lack of skill because they don't know how to make. Majority of people also don't know how to make television anymore. Where you had the classic 24 to 25 episode season, which was a mix of episodic and serialization, where here's your overarching season story, but we're going to take 2-3 episodes off to do contained episodes.
It's a great balance.
It's a lost art. It's a lost art at this point.
Definitely.
The only guy out there that probably knows how to do it, who is going to be doing the God of War TV show, is Ron D. Moore. He's the only active veteran showrunner out there. And listen, Ron D. Moore has successes and has failures. He's not perfect, but he does know how to do it because he did it with Star Trek. So outside of him, there's nobody else I can think of that knows how to do it.
Not who's currently working.
No, there is, because I just sang the praises of Terry Matalas. No, 12 Monkeys was a serialized 4-season story arc. There was no episodic stuff in there. Everything rolled together.
I think some people who are working today used to be able to do that. Like Eric Kripke, who's doing The Boys. He can't do it now, but Supernatural back when it first started was 100% that style.
That's because he's broken in the head.
He's broken in the head.
That dude has problems.
I think that applies to a lot of the other veterans who exist besides the Star Trek one you're talking about with God of War. Most of them have lost it if they ever had it. If they weren't just surrounded by people who actually had it and took the credit for it.
Well, we're talking about, so this is a good transition. We're talking about people who don't have it when it comes to doing television, doing series. We have been gifted for, I'll say it, 30, 40 years of source material, from books to comics to games, things that can be picked up and adapted. And there was a period of time when you could do that. When they did it, they tried their hardest. It wasn't perfect, but they tried their hardest. Where, biggest example, Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Sure.
It's not perfect, but goddamn, Peter Jackson did it with love and care.
Agreed.
Did it with love and care. And we forgive those who are the hardcore purists, the hardcore Lord of the Rings fans. They're like, okay, left this out, left that out, kind of did that wrong, but you know what? It's still done with respect. But somewhere after 2010, when the woke mind virus infested, you were given a piece of source material. And instead of saying, all right, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to read through this, I'm going to make sure, if you were brought in as a talented director who didn't know the source material, you would sit down and do it. I'm going to read it, understand it, and
Do
then
the
I'm gonna give it
homework.
my best. Do the homework. Perfect way to put it, Jed. Do the homework. Now, I would do a thing, but I don't actually want to throw one of my books. They're handed these things. Here, I'll use this. You're handed this and say, they throw it away. They don't care. It's like, yeah, now I got soda on my hand, but still, they throw it away. They don't care about the source material. They'll do whatever they want in the name of agenda, in the name of pleasing the modern audience that they are constantly seeking to replace us. In 4 days, Wheel of Time Season 3 will happen. Now I'm not reviewing it. There is no point. Especially with what I'm about to show you and talk to you about, there is no point in reviewing this because they aren't even on book anymore. I've said this repeatedly over and over again. They aren't even on book. What I'm criticizing is truly now pure fan fiction. And last night, after what some of you in the audience today will know was a disastrous run at Starship Troopers last night. It was a complete disaster. We learned some hard lessons about some of the changes they made to the game and how you can't just stand there and play defense. You got to go out and do the missions. Otherwise, you'll get Endless Horde, which we got 3 times. Didn't win. After that, while the boys were playing some Monster Hunter Wilds, I was just chilling. I'm sitting here, eating a scone, having a nice time, relaxing, cooling down. Delicious. I made delicious scones yesterday. They're great. They were so good. I'm sitting here and I'm chilling and I'm doom scrolling. Because what else? I'm sitting here. What else am I going to do at that point? It's 1 a.m. in the morning. I'm going to doom scroll. I need to stay up for another hour for the goddamn daylight saving time shit. So I'm doom scrolling, listening to the guys talk about what they're doing in the game. So what do you think I find? What do you think I find? So, well, besides the porn. Hey, it's X. It's everywhere. All right? It's everywhere. But what do you think I find? Yesterday, with 4 days to go, the geniuses at Amazon allowed the only base they have to watch the first episode. So they're doing a 2, maybe 3 episode drop in 4 days. They already let people watch it. So the clips are out there. Now, if you follow me at all on X Twitter, you know I've been harassing the stands. I got blocked by a couple. I did get a couple wins here there. I've been harassing the stands, these fake fans, these show watchers, and some traitorous people who claim they like the books, going, "Oh my God, this is great," talking about scenes that in this shit that don't actually happen in the books. And I've already accepted that. But then last night, and somebody in the killing chat already knows where I'm going. You already saw it. Last night, I'm doom scrolling, and I find this. Now, I'm not going to play it because, one, it's 30 seconds. It'll get me hit. But here is their version of Elaine Trackend, who was one of the 3 loves of Randall Thor, the Dragon Reborn. My favorite. I like Elaine. She's my favorite. She should have met him 3 seasons ago, in the first season. But they cut all that out in season 1. So they have met. It was a love at first sight situation with her when he climbs over the wall in Camelin and she sees him and she helps him out. It's a love at first sight. She loved him from that moment. And then a couple books, 4 books later in Shadow Rising, Rand meets Avienda, who, and now this Elaine chick right here, they got her sort of right. She's actually the most attractive person in this show. She's at least somewhat pretty and has the right look. But then Avienda, who's an Aiel, who they're all redheaded and between 6'3" and 6'6" in height. They're all tall as shit. And she is built like a supermodel. Okay? First of all, I've showed you this is Avienda on the show.
She's none of those things you just described. Not a single one of them.
And not and less than mid. Less than mid.
I was just about to say she's not hot.
No, she is not. Hey, 1 second. Hold on. Let me bring it up. Let me show you what Avienda is supposed to look like. Hang on 1 second. Avienda. Here we go. This is supposed to be. Let me get the images up. No, don't leave me alone. This is what Avienda is supposed to look like right here. Here we go. Here's one. This is Avienda in the books, or this is old fan art from back in the day. That's Avienda.
There's a pretty lady.
That's Avienda.
All right.
That's
that
what
is
she's
baby
supposed to
oil
be.
acceptable.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That is what she's supposed to look like. That's Avienda right there. That's Ginger supermodel. Cut your penis off if you get her angry, but Ginger supermodel, 6'2", hot as can be. But this is what you get.
Well,
this show.
She's a ginger, so
Ginger side is real.
Well, it's just because they're dyslexic and.
All right, so
they are.
So now Avienda is also one of the three loves of Rand al'Thor. Now, when she meets Rand, she's already met Elaine in the books and loves her like a sister, and spends 2 books fighting her attraction to Rand because she believes that he belongs with Elaine, and tells him so for an entire book. You belong with Elaine. You should look at no other woman. Don't look at me. It's a whole thing. To the point where it's obnoxious what she does, but she fights it. To the point where also that Avienda ends up being the first one to jump Rand's bones. In Fires of Heaven, she jumps his bones, pops his cherry, so to speak. So you've got Elaine and Avienda in the books, who are basically first sisters, eventually sort of, you could say, sister wives, even though Rand doesn't actually marry, although Rand does eventually knock up Elaine and put 2 babies in her belly. Point is, what do you think they fucking do in this show?
Just a guess, they're gonna scissor. Ooh, 2 girls are gonna be kissing. It's gonna be hot.
Why do you make them gay? This is retarded. They are going to say, look, there comes the scissoring. Here it comes.
You can press play now.
No, because I don't want to get hit. This is terrible. This is this show. This goddamn stupid, retarded show. This is not what anybody who really loves ask for. These are 2 women who have a true sisterly platonic love for each other. But hey, hi, I'm Rafe Judkins. I'm going to make them gay. And Rand isn't even in the picture here. Neither of them have really met him at this point, or if they've seen him, they've kind of mashed them together at the end of last season in an obnoxiously bad way. Not to mention they skipped a whole other bunch. So they're skipping all this shit just so you can have them be gay together. And of course, the stands are, I mean, this is a tiny account. This is the one I found last night. They love this shit. These fake fan stands who worship this show. Everybody's gay and they love it. But the problem is, by doing this, you destroy every relationship possible in this show, in the story. You cannot possibly have anything go as it's supposed to be because everybody's gay now. If these 2 are scissoring, it's going to be a really far leap that Elaine is going to get twins put in her belly later on down the road.
Magical insemination.
Oh no!
Because they haven't built a relationship between her and Rand, and and what they're going to do when they separate, whatever happens with Avienda and Rand in the waste, when they go to the waste in this season, they're supposed to then continue back across the spine of the world back to the regular world. After that, all the interactions are going to be wrong now, because it's not going to be Avienda fighting her attraction to Rand, pretending to herself, lying to herself that she needs to make sure that Elaine is the one he should be with. That's gone. It's gone. Their whole relationship is going to be gone because it's built on that, and it starts from there with Rand not getting what the hell her problem is for the longest time, because then she's sent to spy on him. It's a whole thing. So it's all wrong. Not to mention the other gay shit I've mentioned before, because this leads to another thing. I bring about this. Why do stands, and they all go all over the place with her, that chick who plays 9 even this, they claim, oh, you're so beautiful, so beautiful. This is the next one I'm going to show you, this next part of this. Why do stands say ugly women are beautiful?
To make themselves feel beautiful.
Because the next one is Swan Sanche, who was at the time the Emerald Seat, the head of the Aes Sedai, who is straight in the books, ends up having a very important relationship with Gareth Bryne as the story goes on. Supposed to be pretty, but not gay. That's her in the show.
She's aged a lot since Doctor Who.
Oh,
Hey,
no.
wasn't she in Eon Flux?
I don't know. I didn't watch that movie.
No,
Point
that
is,
was
this is not beauty, but they made her gay with what's her name playing Moraine. Forgot her name all of a sudden. Doesn't matter. It's
Rosamund Pike.
Rosamund Pike, thank you. Rosamund Pike, who is attractive? Rosamund Pike is attractive, but they made her the center of the story, but she's not. So they fill these shows with all these women to be gay together. They haven't made any of the men gay yet, which I find odd. You
that
know
is her. Oh, sorry.
Wrote it? Okay.
Yeah.
IMDb'd it.
It's her.
Point is, they make all the women gay. They haven't made any of the men gay. Of course, none of the men are gay in Robert Jordan's. None of the main characters are gay. Nobody is gay in Robert Jordan's story. They're all heterosexual people having somewhat dysfunctional relationships at times, but having relationships. Well, that's a 3-way, Kale. That's a forced 3-way. Yeah. So there are the Green Aja Aes Sedai can have multiple warders. They're special guardians. They can bond to multiple ones. And in the show, one of them has 2 warders, and they're in a throuple all the time.
Oh, boy.
And in season 1, when one warder lost his Aes Sedai, and they offered him to join her group, he ended up Minecrafting himself rather than joining. He Minecrafted himself rather than join their throuple and make it a quintuple. Or no, a quintuple. That's 5. I could do math. A quadruple. Sorry, I can do it. I could get there. Either way, but this is where we are. To bring it back, you're given lore, you're giving hard source material, and you actively change it to suit your fucked up needs. And for what? For who? Because none of these shows are successful. They are working hard on these fake stands on X for Waste of Time, Wheel of Prime. They're working overtime saying, this is the best fantasy series. I'm so glad I watched it. This is now the standard for all fantasy series going forward. Fantasy is back, baby. We're here. It's the greatest show on television. Everybody's watching it. You leave X, nobody's talking about this show. Nobody's talking about it. Now, it might track because it's a multiple episode drop next week, and we know how those retarded metrics work.
It might. There's not even enough interest for the show that I would confidently say that a batch release would get it into the Nielsen's.
Bottom 5 at best.
At best,
maybe the way Samba does it, it might get Samba. If I've heard Samba's not putting shit up lately though. So, point is, nobody cares about this because this show in particular, and I've made this debate. We did a whole stream on it a couple years ago. It's one thing to have Rings of Power, which is made by retards, actively stupid retards who are just dumb. I don't think what they I've made the case. Rings of Power is not malice; it's just retarded. What Rafe Judkins has done with this show is done out of malice for Robert Jordan and his actual fans. To make these two characters gay together, just to appease the scissoring window lickers on X and Facebook and wherever and Reddit, you're evil. You're a bad person to destroy it. That everything he has done has been out of malice. And that's why, and I think it's finally coming home to roost because, as we mentioned a minute ago in a previous segment, he was in charge of God of War TV show. He's the one they gave it to originally. If he was still in good place, in a good position, standing with Amazon, they wouldn't have taken it away and given it to Ron D. Moore. Which leads me to believe this show will be canceled now. I think it's coming because season 1, right after it came out, a week or two later, season 2 was announced. Season 2 was announced before they even premiered season 1 last time, I believe, if I remember correctly. There is not even a murmur about season 3. There are people going, season 4. People going right now, please, we need season 4, or we're already starting that, which means there's not even a whisper of season 4 right now. And I reiterate, how do you even go far? For those who are in the know, they've skipped tier entirely. They're going from the end of The Great Hunt right to the beginning of Shadow Rising now, where Rand's going to take everybody to the waist. And they have the fall of the White Tower, but they do it where some god-awful, over-the-top magic, fake magic battle happens, and everybody gets destroyed, where the Black Sisters rise up behind Leandrin and attack Swan and all the loyal Aes Sedai and break the tower, and then Aleda's going to swoop in and pick up the pieces. Aleda, who should have been introduced 2 seasons ago. So they're going to do all that when, in reality, the Black Sisters, they left in the dead of night, stole a bunch of Angreal, Sangreal, and Terangreal, and ran off. And then Swan sends Egwene, Nynaeve, and Elaine to go hunt them and find them and report back. And then when Swan is deposed by Aleda, it happens in the dead of night without a fight. It's just swift and brutal. She gets stilled, and then she has to escape with Min and her crew, and then with Gareth Bryan, and all kind of shit happens. That's how it happens. There's no magic battle where suddenly Moiraine and all of them are in Tar Valon, and she shows up to save her scissor wife. That doesn't happen, but all of these fake fans and stans are lauding the show for this fan fiction. So that's why, in the end, I say it's malice, and I'm not even going to bother because it's not even book. There's nothing for me to really compare it to anymore in contrast. The last previous season, there was some remnants that I can compare and contrast and say, okay, this is where it gets even worse, breaking book. We're off book. We skipped the book. We skipped a whole bunch of character development. They're going to first go to Perrin with the hammer and the axe. The dichotomy of it, does he choose the hammer or does he choose the axe? They have spent 2 seasons. He hasn't even picked up the axe yet. He's never wielded the axe. And I know Jed and Dre have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, but that's okay. They've done nothing. They gave Perrin Matt's story. They've given Matt nothing to do. They've manufactured a story around Matt. They don't know anything. They've stolen all of Rand's agency. He's been saved more times than any woman in history at this point by everybody else. And they don't even understand the rules of the world they live in. The one power in the show is just a single thing. There's no 2 halves, which means they're not even doing the proper story that Robert Jordan was telling, that with 2 halves, one used by men, one used by women, only time great things can happen is when men and women work in equality 50-50 at the same time. They will always create grand instead of trying to do things separately. They've abandoned that theme that Robert Jordan made present in his entire story, and that Brandon Sanderson did his best to drive home with the final 3 books. There's no way this continues. And when it gets canceled, then you'll see me do a video, because I am going to piss all over these people. And I'm going to tell them, no, it's not raining. I'm pissing on your heads.
Like R. Kelly.
Doo-doo butter. Anyway, you get it. All right. So this is this is truly an abomination. I didn't think they would do this because they're all. I saw the stance constantly going, oh, look at the sexual tension. Oh, kiss, just kiss. I'm like, they're not going to do it. They can't do that. Boy, do I look dumb. Who am I? Of course, they're going to make them scissor me timbers. This is the remnants of the darkest timeline. And it doesn't go forward after this. It doesn't. There's no path to victory. I think Rafe Judkins is done. I think they're going to cancel this show. There's no saving it. As Jed said, he doesn't see any evidence of anybody talking about it. I only know about it. I only get flooded with this shit because I troll these idiots. It's been my focus. There's been a lot of Disney Star Wars just to troll. So I've been trolling these assholes for a couple of weeks now. So I get to see this, but it's going nowhere. It's done. It's over. And when it's canceled, I'm going to celebrate. All right. So that was mostly me. I didn't expect any commentary from you guys on that one. That's fine. So we do have our main event story now. Weekends. I'm thinking, what the hell am I going to do for a show this week? What are we going to do? I had nothing. I had nothing until 36 hours ago when this story dropped and when we did what we already did today. But months ago, when they put out what I thought was a trial balloon to tell us that, hey, Black Severus Snape in Harry Potter reboot. And I said that they must be just seeing if they can get away with it. Remember, we talked about it on stream. I did videos. They must be high. There is no way that the showrunner, J.K. Rowling, HBO Max, Warner Brothers, there's no way they're this stupid. And I said as much. And then they faded. And then last week, we got the news. We didn't get a chance to talk about it last week. And I thought we were going to let it go until something else happened. But here it is. Something else happened. Last week, John Lithgow, venerable actor, fantastic actor, great character actor. John Lithgow, first American actor to be cast in what was always a British-oriented thing. And I was okay with it for the simple fact that John Lithgow is a great actor. If you're going to get somebody, at least they got a great actor who could transform himself, okay? I was okay with it, all right? And I thought, okay, maybe this shows that they give a damn, that they're smart, that they're going to understand, that they're going to learn their lesson, that all those rumors were trial balloons because he was never mentioned in any of the rumors. Nothing. Came out of nowhere. And then I wake up Friday morning, sitting right here in this chair. I'm checking messages. I'm looking at stuff. DM room. Somebody posts it. And I go, oh, no. I see this. I click on the link. And here we are. I don't care about the chick playing McGonagall. Don't give an F about
She's
that.
just 30 years too young, but
yeah,
seems like a decent actress.
That doesn't matter. You know, they
give her some old lady makeup and it'll be okay.
Yeah, you can age her up. That's not the issue. The issue is Papa Asidu. And I don't have any other pictures, so we'll go with this one here. Papa Asidu. The guy who they said would do it in the original leak.
Is that how you pronounce his name, Papa?
I say Papa.
If it is, the stands for the show when it comes out are going to daddy him up.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
So what I'm saying is this. Well, I'm going to say it now. There is, and this could be a nuanced discussion. Let's just put that out right now. I said it earlier, say now. There are multiple levels of discussion, but right on top of this, with this news, I'm going to say it, and you can agree or disagree with me. This show is doomed. It's doomed because, give me 1 second here. I'm bringing something else up that I forgot to grab.
It's definitely doomed in the long term. Like you said earlier when you were just talking about leading into this topic at the beginning of the stream, it's going to have some initial success, initial curiosity, but it's not going to be able to maintain anything of value.
And that's the point. You could do all kinds of stuff to act away, to story it up, but you're casting a black guy who is not an ugly man. That's not an ugly man in a role that J.K. Rowling herself describes, or these are her sketches, as an ugly man, a white ugly man. Dre, you're not really into Harry Potter.
Does this make you want to be into Harry Potter?
No, not for one thought second. So as I said before, I was never into Harry Potter. I was never really into Hufflepuff and whatever. I remember people saying I'm a sizzling and diddling.
Slytherin?
Yeah, that's it.
Sizzling?
That's it. Yeah, and all of that. I'm never been
Red
into
Lobster.
Going to the yeah. Ooh. Oh man, Red Lobster's going out of business, Adam.
They've been going out of business for 10 years, whatever.
But they're gone now. Anyway.
Their biscuits are heaven.
Oh God, those biscuits are so good. But see, I'd rather talk about that than this. but this is my thing. Like I respect the folks that have loved Harry Potter, the people that have read the books and saw the movies and all that stuff. I got a lot of respect for that fan base. And I know for sure this is supposed to be a British show.
Yeah.
I mean, or a British
production.
Thank you. This will be a British production. It's supposed to be, the whole thing is supposed to be taking place in Europe and stuff and all that great stuff. And I believe that's where white folks come from. So let the white folks have their stuff. And we don't need to be in everything. I've said this 1,000 times. And, and this is, you're replacing a legendary actor in the role already.
That's besides the point.
But I'm not saying whoever was going to be the white dude to replace him already had really big shoes to fill. And I guarantee you, Adam, if they cast, let's just say Adam Driver, let's just say for the sake.
Well, that's the name they've been people saying. You had the perfect looking Snape without any makeup right there.
Exactly.
People are unironically saying it should have been a reunion between Adam Driver and Daisy Ridley playing Lily Potter. That's when you take it too far.
Yeah,
well,
that's
those are the weirdos.
That's a step too far. But yeah, but Adam Driver, let's just say it was him. Everybody will be saying, can he fill the shoes? That will be the entire conversation. Yeah. That will be the entire conversation. But now you got Papa Shango is up in this joint.
Well, let's see.
Now the narrative is why are they casting this dude that doesn't look like the character described?
What has he done? He has been acting only since 2020, and he's done nothing of.
Yeah, none of those are leading roles or even major supporting roles. Those are all minor television roles.
I think I watched Gangs of London. No, I didn't. No, I'm thinking a different one. I think a different one. He's done nothing that even says he should be in this show, except being black.
Mm-hmm.
Because
that's a pretty important qualification these days.
Because they want to put him in there. And when you look at this, and Jed, you were absolutely right when you said this. Out of the gate, this thing is, when it premieres, this thing is going to do mountaintop blowing numbers when the premiere happens. There's no doubt. There's no doubt it premieres, but that's going to be because of the normies. Normies are going to show up easy. But here's the problem. Because as of this moment, he hasn't signed the deal yet. Remember, it says right here, right?
Yeah, it's not too late.
It's closing his deal. It hasn't happened yet. So this is still not confirmed as a done deal. But the point is, if this happens, you've just alienated the Harry Potter fandom. Arguably, in this current modern day we live in, the most powerful fandom out there. Harry Potter is the biggest thing still standing. With merch, with books, with the movies, whether you like them or not. I personally, I don't like the movies anymore. I haven't liked them for a very long time. Because they cut stuff from the books. And I'm an average Harry Potter book reader. I've only read the books a couple of times. I don't know every little detail. I just know it was a nice little story, and it stuck the landing. I was okay. I like the whole thing as an idea, and I like the themes that it pushes. People go to the parks. They buy everything. It's massively still popular. It is the current day Star Wars in terms of how powerful of an IP it is. It should be a license to print money. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If executed properly, being as faithful to the books as you can be, this show would have been likely one of the most successful television shows of all time. And by casting this black dude, you have just shot yourself in the foot, because the Potterheads are going to be living, the real ones, not the ones who are going to go, oh, isn't this great? It's so progressive. They cast a black man. No, the real fans, they're going to watch it first to hate watch it. And every time they see him, even if they nail every other casting, every other time Papa comes on screen, it's going to destroy their suspension of disbelief. And Dre, you might not know this. Severus Snape, his backstory, the poorest of the poor.
Oh,
It's
Go ahead, Jet. Go ahead.
Snape is arguably the worst person in the entire series to race swap, because like you're talking about, his backstory, when you find out about it in book 5, it shows we get basically flashbacks of Harry's father bullying this kid in school for being greasy, poor, and ugly. That's not going to land very well if it's a black dude. There's going to be the argument that Harry comes from a racist family.
3 white guys bullying the black dude who's poor and whose daddy left.
In the 70s. Yeah, a black kid in an all-white school getting bullied in the 70s for being poor and black. That's going to be a great look.
This is even dumber, because if you look at the cast list, the character list of Harry Potter, there are plenty of diverse characters that have prominent roles throughout the series.
100%. And there's other prominent white characters that wouldn't be this bad.
You did this to spit in the eye of fans, which is now, I'm going to harken back to my Wheel of Time rant. This is done out of malice, I think.
I'm going to have to agree with you.
This is done out of malice. And I remind everybody, J.K. Rowling may be great for pushing back against the trainee bullshit, but she is as woke and deranged in every other aspect of pop culture life and culture and political life as you can think. And now we see she's a fucking idiot. She's a fucking idiot because...
So let me guess. This version is going to be from the ghetto, and they're going to be mud hole stomping them. The white kids are going to be mud hole stomping them.
I wouldn't be surprised. If we get to season 5 and they do that, I wouldn't be surprised. Season 5 or 6.
Then he gets power, and now he's the mean black guy. And he's gonna be.
But Dre,
he's jaded by racism, so it's okay that he's a jerk.
But I guess there is going to be some actually, because he lusted after the white lady.
Oh, that's accurate. Yeah, I'll give you that.
He wanted that. He wanted that ginger white lady.
That's how that works. That's real life. I'll give him that much. But like stuff like that, like this doesn't move the needle for me whatsoever. Like I'm beyond normie, and this is the type of stuff that makes me want to walk the other direction, because I'll hear something about, and then because I'll just ask a simple question like, "Oh, is it a book? Yeah, it's a book. Oh, are these characters where they're supposed to be? Well, they put some black folks in it." I'm like, "Oh, well." I'm like, no, that doesn't do anything for me. And I'll give you an example. There is a legendary book. I don't know. You probably never read this, but there's been a mini series called Alex Cross. You might have heard of this character.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I've heard his character. Yeah. And every time he's depicted on screen, he is a black man because he is described as a black detective.
He's been Morgan Freeman's been him.
Yeah, Morgan Freeman's been him. Yeah. And Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry's been him too.
Yeah. But he is a black character, and he's a very prominent black character in literature. Under no circumstance would it be acceptable for him to be race swapped to a white man, an Asian man, an Indian man, or any other type of dude, because the character is black. So a lot of people might listen to this this rhetoric like, "Oh, you're just mad as a black man." No, race swapping when it comes to whatever form of literature is wrong. It's wrong.
It's only right if they're white.
Happens one way.
If they're white, it's okay. You can race swap away.
And I always think that's so stupid. I'm like, no, if a character is supposed to be a certain way, make him that certain way. That's what their intent is. Just because somebody is English, doesn't mean white or English, whatever, doesn't make it okay to say like, oh, there's too many white folks in there, so we need ourselves some colors. Like that's not okay. Or because if we did it the other way around, if Snape, right? I'm saying this right, Snape.
Yeah.
If he was historically a Asian dude, and now we wanted to change him white, there will be pickets in the streets, and there will be riots and bras burning. So I don't want to hear the nonsense when they're like, oh well, and damn it. No, this is the way the character is supposed to be done. Do it the way it's supposed to be done.
And this is the
Easy
racism.
money.
This is the real racism of it all. You do it to white people, we're supposed to suck it up. But God forbid you do it to a black character, an Asian character, any other nationality around the world. God forbid you do that. Then here's Armageddon. World's over.
Exactly.
God forbid Black Panther is a white man.
That'd be funny though.
Yeah, it would be funny.
That'd be funny.
Yeah, I'd love
That
it.
would be really funny.
Well, dude, we'd laugh our way to the bank with videos on that.
Oh my God.
Point is, this is trouble because now, and I've heard the statement they did this for the controversy. Do you think they did this for the controversy?
It'd have to be stupid.
Yeah, they'd be moronic to do so.
They had to be stupid. Adam, if somebody, I'm going to assume that's just some beat writer that's trying to make a headline. Because if you intentionally did this because you think it's going to be buzz to get people to watch your show, you have not been paying attention at all. This is the exact opposite of what people want to go and have in their shows and movies and stuff. People want to see what they read on the screen.
Exactly. And here, listen, go back a week ago, watch my video on John Lithgow announcement. I had hope. Dre, it wasn't just a thread. I was holding on a big old rope of hope right there. It was, I was like, man, I'm ready to see what's going to happen. I want to do the positive review. I don't want to do the roast review. Well, now we're looking at roast review now. We're looking at roast review.
There goes your
because
hope.
now I'm 70-30. Hermione's going to be black.
Oh, don't say it.
I want them to make this change to the book. I want Harry to be of ambiguous race, and then they reveal that Lily cheated with Snape back in the day, and Snape's his secret father. That's what I want. And he was an absentee dad. Then he found out that's why he betrayed Voldemort and changed over to the good side. And he's watching his son from a distance, but he can't be a good father. That's why he's mean to Harry. That's what I want.
In the books, Snape hated Harry to the very end. He did everything for Lily in the books. He always hated him. Because this is just... I didn't think J.K. Rowling was this dumb. She's executive producer. She has veto power on this stuff.
I've always questioned the amount of control that she had, but even even if she had ultimate control, I from the very beginning, when this was first announced and people were saying, "Hey, she's involved. It's going to be good."
I was one of them. Well, I said there's a chance to be good because she's not going to let it destroy her legacy. I was one of those people, and now, listen.
I was against it from the beginning because I've seen what other creators do when they have full creative control. Like Rick Riordan made the Percy Jackson show on Disney Plus. It's absolute garbage. He went off the deep end years and years ago.
Yeah.
And J.K. Rowling changing her lore with her Twitter account, making it so toilets weren't invented involved in the wizarding world until the 70s. Before that, they would just shit in their pants and magic it away, even though that undoes the entire plot of Chamber of Secrets.
Listen. I would love... I'd love to magic it away before I shit my pants. Like, oh, gotta go zip. I'd love to cut out the whole process. That'd be if I could do that as a mage, I would do that. Just wave the wand, just teleport it out of my intestines before I even go through the process. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be useful. But she made it so that they didn't use toilets until like the 70s or some stupid shit. But the Chamber of Secrets was hidden in a bathroom. With the snake symbol carved into the water faucet.
I guess you still have to take showers, I guess. I don't know. Point is, yes, JK is looking like she doesn't give a shit. I mean, listen, is this going to really affect her? No. She bathes in her billions. All right? people are still going to go to the theme parks.
Mm-hmm.
But for those of us who are not fans of the movie, and I know I'm an apostate, I don't like the movies. I don't like the movies because they get progressively worse in terms of lore and accuracy. I was looking forward to this as a chance to put a definitive, accurate version of Harry Potter on my shelf for visual media. I was looking forward to something that I could sit down and rewatch over and over again and enjoy. And now that's if he signs the dotted line, likely not to happen. Because if they're doing it with this, what else are they going to do? Because as I always said, go back when I started this channel, I with Wheel of Time. This is when I was doing my original Wheel of Time predictions, which I was proved this right with all the race swapping they did. Race swapping is the door through which all this bullshit walks through. Because once that door is open, the people who did it are afraid to close it because they don't want to be called mean names by the creepy weirdos on social media. It's through all the agenda walks through once you do the first race swap. So now that they race swap Snape, if this comes to pass, who knows what else they're gonna do? Are all the house elves gonna be black now? So they're all enslaved. We go back to the joke. How's it gonna be when they do the flashbacks eventually for Snape's backstory with him being bullied by 3 white guys?
Are they going to lean in or away from the goblins being a Jewish metaphor?
Oh boy.
And also at the same time, I mean, the shit they did to Snape was horrible when they bullied him. I mean, they did some seriously effed up shit.
Yeah, this wasn't some low key like, "Hey, you're ugly," bullying.
Physical
This was
torture, like physically tortured him at times. So how are they going to get away?
They strung him up to a tree once.
Yes.
Oh no!
I'm talking about.
That's not going to look good.
There's all kinds of and with every other thing that goes on in this story, how are they going to? There's so many things that they can just get the agenda in there, and they'll do it because they probably still live in a tiny little bubble. Because let's be honest, while HBO and HBO Max, they're great at making television, they're as retarded as everybody else. And Warner Brothers is historically stupid when it comes to their productions and their behavior and their reactions to things. We're not talking smart people here. So maybe they can't read the room, read the world, read the country, understand that, guess what? DEI is done. It's over. It's been rejected. We're moving on. This is going to start off strong, but man, if this happens and if it leads to other things, it's going to end in doomed disaster. At least that's my opinion right now. My opinion right now. I can't believe they did this. I did not think they were this stupid. I really didn't. I mean, am I the dumb one for thinking they would realize, hey, let's just adapt it as it is, as the most powerful franchise in the world right now? Am I dumb?
No, but like, Adam. As I've said before, what has to happen in order for us to get back on track?
This isn't me grasping for hope. I just thought, we're gonna get a good TV show.
What?
This is called grasping for hope.
What has to happen?
This is
no.
No, I'm not in the same position as we were with Dragon Age. This is different. I'm not somebody clamoring for this. I just thought, oh, here's a good chance for a great TV show. It's not hard.
Yeah. That's great. That's great. No. What has to happen, Adam, for us all to get back to normal? Everything has to die. And we're here. This is literally the last franchise. This is it. Harry Potter. Harry Potter got an extensive run of life too, because that game that was very, very good last couple of years.
It was good. Yeah, but the Fantastic Beast movies were
no one gives
nobody cares about those movies. Somebody saw those.
Yeah. Okay.
It's time to kill Harry Potter.
Listen, in the end, I'm okay. Okay, Dre, that's why I'm saying it's different. I'm okay with that. I'm not so dedicated to Harry Potter that I needed to keep going. I thought Harry Potter, I thought Harry Potter had its last life a long time ago. I mean, because let's be honest, what has JK done since then?
Oh, she just rested on her laurels.
She's
110%.
JK was a
Which is
one-trick
kind
pony.
of fair.
It's
Yeah.
fair. Yeah, but and then well, and then there's always the like how much is like JK really respond. Listen, I've always been curious about the conspiracy theories that it got to a point where it was the final books were more book by committee than her actually doing it herself. You know, there were always those rumors that which could explain some inconsistencies here and there in terms of the storytelling and the writing. Point is, Harry Potter, in my opinion, as a franchise with legs, I thought those legs stopped walking a long time ago. Now, it's still great to make theme park shit because that's easy. That's just reliving the glory. That's fine. And people want to do rides, dress up. I hear there's new interactive wands now that they're setting up for the.
No, they've had those for a little while.
Okay.
The main park.
Well,
already.
I just seen the articles are popping up now. That's
They're expanding what they can do. Absolutely.
Okay. What I'm saying is this though. So, but Harry Potter as a growing franchise, it had nowhere to grow because there were no stories left to tell unless you got away from here. If you told stories about the wizarding world outside of Harry Potter in the future, not the Fantastic Beasts shit, which is more prequel garbage. If you told stuff about the future, would it still be interesting without the story of the boy who lived? That's always a question I've wondered. I've always wondered, but they've never tried. So and that tells me something. Maybe they know beyond the boy who lived. Is it something that can carry on?
Warner Brothers has never tried, but there is the Cursed Child, which is a sequel that JK was involved in, and that was a disaster and shit. Yeah. I mean, Harry Potter is still tertiarily involved in it, but it's not about him.
Yeah.
So,
but it was a play.
True, but it's still trying to continue on the story and was written like garbage.
There hasn't been a book. There hasn't been a comic. The only video games we've gotten have either been in world for the original stories or Hogwarts Legacy was prequel. And Hogwarts Legacy, while a fun game, that game was on training wheels the whole goddamn time. It wasn't very hard. Wasn't very.
They've added difficulty levels. I just replayed it with Rachel since she never played it, and yeah, they added in difficulty levels. It wasn't an insane amount, but it was still.
So when you actually put it on ultra hard, it's actually ultra hard.
Yeah, I played it on ultra hard, and I couldn't do the arenas on my first try anymore. So
okay, because I did ultra hard and I breezed through that game in the end. It was not hard at all.
It's still not as hard as other From Software games or anything, but it's still it provided a challenge now.
But the thing about that game, it was more about the experience than
True.
It was just a fun little experience. If you're a member of the channel, you can watch my entire playthrough. We had a good time, had a lot of fun, made a lot of jokes along the way. But once it was done, it was done. It was it. It's over. They didn't make a DLC. They've been talking about making another one, but it hasn't come to fruition yet. There's not a lot of news on, at least that I haven't seen. So Harry Potter exists within its original run. It's not, for perfect example, look to my right, Star Wars, where they were able to grow the galaxy, grow the stories, expand beyond the movies and tell great things that went on for a couple decades of incredible lore and growth with video games galore and all that kind of great stuff. Harry Potter never did that, yet Harry Potter is successful because people love the original thing and keep getting back into it. So if you say time to die, it should have died a long time ago as far as a growing franchise. There's nowhere left to go. And this would have been a last great hurrah of let's give it an appropriate visual media. Let's make it a TV show that's accurate to the books. But the fact that they couldn't do it still surprises me because it's right there. It's printing money. It would make HBO Max the king of television in this current age. But they fucked it up. At least it looks like they're about to fuck it up. But we'll be there. We'll be there. I will review it most likely whenever it's done. I will whatever other casting news there is, I will next report and give analysis when we see who Harry, Ron, and Hermione are. That's the only next
that's going to real sign. That's arguably the only one's more important than what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, and that I listen, 70-30 Hermione's black at this point, or at least ethnically ambiguous.
I don't think you can have gingers I think Ron is going to be at least hair swapped, if not racially ambiguous.
Oh man, it wasn't hard. This was a layup. Wasn't hard.
Just literally take the book, translate it into a script.
Especially the first book. It's so short.
Mm-hmm.
It's not hard. You don't have to worry about getting complicated with your seasons and increasing episode lengths and characters until book 4, where they start to get more shits going on. The first couple books are short. They're easy. 8 episodes in and out, no problem. They've complicated it. You know what's not complicated? We're done. Show's over. Jed, what you got this week?
Well, everyone can find me on YouTube and Kick at Hollywood Scholar. Just regularly scheduled live streams with Saturday Night Drive-In. I believe it's still happening. Last week,
Yes.
you
Yeah,
changed.
we got 2 weeks. We got 2 weeks left before we go on break.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, there will be Drive-In this week, but Adam will talk more about that.
Yeah. Dre.
So we got another glorious week this week. Hopefully, we have ourselves a smooth week. Nothing to no new creatives this week and no new indies this week. I don't think. If something drops by tomorrow, I'll definitely make a review on it by tomorrow. But it should be a good week. Hopefully, we get another good episode of Daredevil. And I can announce today that I already announced some time ago that I was going to be at AwesomeCon this year. Now it's official. I have my booth.
Nice.
It'll be I-11. It's going to be pretty dope. And the mezzanine level, there'll be a promo being made. I already posted a promo, but there's going to be more to come in the coming weeks. On April 4th through the 6th, I will be there. And it's going to be freaking sweet. So for those that want to come and meet me and say what's up or check out all the stuff that I'm working on, definitely come on by the booth in April 4th through 6th.
Excellent. Outstanding. As for myself, tonight, I'm not doing anything else, although as usual, we're recording Wormhole Watch with Duke Devereaux, Bradley Burnett. You can catch those edited on his channel every Wednesday, where we're just talking Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Tomorrow, however, 12-hour stream tomorrow, because it's my stream to help me keep streaming, because StreamYards has doubled their prices. So join me in 12 hours tomorrow as we try to just keep me going. If you like this show, if you like Mellow Mondays, if you like Nerdgasm, Autopsy, Anime Odyssey, Drive-In, StreamYards is how I do it. When we game, we're on OBS. That's free. That's different. When we're doing this, we kind of need the framework. We need to set up the StreamYards provides. There are other things out there, but they don't work as well. They don't work as well. And so join me tomorrow as we stream to keep me streaming. When we will be beginning, because it arrived early. It arrived early tomorrow for at least probably we'll start off with a little discussion in the beginning. We're gonna be playing Suikoden Remastered, baby. It arrived early. I'm so excited. I haven't played this in forever. Oh, it's gonna be a good time. So we're gonna play Suikoden 1 tomorrow at some point. It'll be open door. There'll be panel discussions, usual stuff, and then by the end of the day, it'll roll into Mellow Mondays at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, like normal, to finish it out. Where we'll do the normal stuff we do there and have a good time. It'll still be the 12-hour stream. Like take a 10-15-minute break for me to move around finally as I reshuffle everything. But so join me for that. I hope to see you guys there. At the same time, though, the rest of the week, we'll see what happens. Last week was a really light week for me, as you all know. I could only report on things I'm interested in. I don't chase the dragon. I don't try to just grab every little bit of thing out there.
Heroin reference.
I do the best I can. But we will be back for Drive-In next week. Jed wanted to be nice and have an intelligent discussion on stuff this weekend. I'm going straight good old American jingoism. Top Gun, baby.
I think you're being unfair. Top Gun is still written fairly well.
I know.
It's still a tight movie.
But we got fighter jets and communists getting shot down. Yeah.
International relations.
Yeah.
That's true.
I love that movie.
So we're going to be doing Top Gun next weekend. Join us for that. Driving as usual. Ballbusters will be there. I'm sure Dermy's ass will have survived by then. Oh, you missed it, Dre. Oh yeah, he ate 5 hot nuts.
Oh
and then he,
no.
and then he ate something called the nitro gummy because he hit his marks. He hit
That
his
boy
marks.
is wild.
Yeah, yesterday he's when he woke up yesterday. He didn't stream last night because he had to sit on the toilet all night. Hey, but listen, he in about a month he's going to shave his head right before Vegas, and because I was persistent and got it in there, they're going to glue a yarmulke to that boy's head at the meetup.
Oh my Christ!
Yeah, I got that in there.
Is he gonna shave too? Like he did
no,
get his little mustache back?
No. He gets to keep his beard. He's gonna have his head shaved. He's gonna shave.
You gotta give him the little mustache and the yarmulke at the same time.
I listen. It's out of my control. Listen, I got the yarmulke in there. Okay, I got it in there. Static's gonna make sure that this shit happens in Vegas. He's gonna be there. He's gonna make sure it happens. A lot of horrible things are gonna happen to Dermy in Vegas. Okay, because he reached his goals for his Vegas trip. So they're gonna shave that boy's head. He's gonna get a yarmulke glued to it. They're gonna be able to yell out a burpee at any moment in time. He's have to do burpees at any moment in time. If we call it, and he's like got at least 15 or 20 at this point. So it's gonna be great. No. It's not a mohawk. It's completely bald. And he has to do it on camera, on stream, the week before Vegas. Because I said, no, you don't get to do it now. You have to be the week before Vegas because your head has to be shiny and bald when you go to Vegas.
He's got to oil it up.
Yeah. Oh God. Well, he's got the oil. He's Dermy. Anyway. So there it is. So
he just uses lube.
So we're Ballbusters will be back. And next weekend on Saturday, we delayed it this weekend because everybody was just tired from the 12-hour stream. We will be doing Among Us next weekend. It'll happen 8:30 p.m. Ballbusters Gaming, where all the shit we always talk about happens. So it's gonna be great. I know. Listen, he made a lot of money on Friday. I'm not crying for him at all. All right, I'm not crying for him at all. If he wants to torture himself to do it, great. I'm just going to provide you guys entertainment. And well, okay, all right. One thing did happen on the 12-hour stream. I lost a bet, or I gambled and lost because there's the Wheel of Punishment that we make him go through that Static developed, and I also play games where I put up the food, pick one things, and we have to play by the rules. And I didn't want to play the game, so I tried to make Devil either play the game or go to the Wheel of Punishment, and Devil turns it around on me. It was good play, good turnaround by Devil. He said, all right, you either play by the rules of the game or you do the Wheel of Punishment. I said, F it, I'll do the Wheel of Punishment myself. So tomorrow, when Devil is on stream for the first time, because he has to be there for it, when he joins tomorrow at some point, I have to eat a banana the long way.
Oh.
Hey, I gambled. There were several things on there that could have been worse. There were several exercises. I could have done those. Would have been a little awkward with the way the room is structured, but I would have gotten them. Or I could have eaten. I would have had to buy the pickles for the pickle juice. I don't think we have any olives in the house, at least not black olives. And I would have. There is mayo in the house. I would have eaten a spoonful of mayo, even though I hate mayo. Ugh, I don't like mayo. But no. So I have to eat banana the long way. Of course, I have to be very careful because some people say YouTube might hit you. So I'll eat the banana as much as I can in a bite. Listen, I have a gag reflex, okay? I don't. So it's not going to be entertaining. Or listen, I'm going to take my memeing, all right? I'm going to take my memeing like a man. I lost.
You're going to take it like a man, all right.
Listen, so tomorrow there are bananas in the house. I just hope they're still not too ripe. I like it when they're kind of little green. So by tomorrow, I hope they're not too ripe. I don't like when they're all brown and spotty. They're disgusting then. I don't like the brown.
What's happening right now?
What? I'm going to eat the banana. I'm going to peel it. I'm not going to be taking it with the skin on. I like it cut.
You don't wrap it up?
No.
You raw dog that? Spotted brown banana.
So I have to eat a banana the long way tomorrow at some point. Hey, listen.
Oh my God.
Listen. Hey. I'm playing by the rules of the game. All right. No, I'm gonna.
You're gonna pull the skin back. Is it circumcised?
No, nobody said how I have to eat it. I could go peel it off camera and come back with the banana. All right. No one described to me how to do it. No one set the rules. We're past it. I can eat the banana long way however I want. I will take as big a bite as I can before gagging on it. All right?
It's not getting better, Adam.
You're making it so much worse.
I'm building up
Nibbling on it's not any better than gagging on it.
I didn't say nibble. No one said nibble. No one said nibble. All right? Come on. Hey, listen, I am owning up to this. I'm gonna play this, man. I'm gonna lean into it. All right? This is it.
You're gonna lean into it, huh?
God almighty.
Act like you like it.
All right, so if you want to see, listen, that's kind of, I don't know what tomorrow's really going to be like. Outside of playing games, some regular panel discussion, I don't know what's going to happen. I kind of think I need to save the Banana to Mellow Mondays because I don't think Samuel will forgive me if I don't do it if he's there. And then there's going to be the whole drink from the hose water shit. They're going to, apparently I'm not a man because I don't drink from a hose.
That's true.
Shut up.
That you've never done it, yeah.
Shut up. All right, forget all of you. We're done. Good night, everybody. Thanks for being here. Hit the like button, and we'll see you guys next time, everybody. Take it easy.